He is making what is said to be a provocative documentary series about the Enhanced Games, the event for doped athletes that organisers claim will rival the Olympics. Now, you possibly remember this from some time ago when the Enhanced Games first came to light. We couldn't believe it, but this was Aaron de Souza, the president of the proposed Enhanced Games.
Athletes are doing things openly and under scientific and clinical supervision. It's not done underground, right? It's not cheating when everyone knows what is happening.
Oh, it's cheating all right, because everybody's doing it. Cheating is allowed, basically. That's the theme, isn't
it? No. It can't possibly be cheating.
That's exactly what it is.
Those are the rules. No, it's like, would you call cheating in a bodybuilding competition? There are natural federations and there are untested enhanced federations. But it's an open and level playing field. What the Olympics is today is not a level playing field. Some athletes, people like Lance Armstrong with their own labs and doctors and compounding pharmacies, can get a higher advantage. And it's all done underground and it's deeply unsafe.
So that was de Souza that day, Dara, arguing that, no, it would be a level playing field because they're all allowed to dope. I mean, basically what he said blew our hair back. We couldn't quite believe it. But he was on the level. He said, no, this is what the Enhanced Games would mean. And now McElhenney is proposing to make a provocative documentary series about the Enhanced Games. You're in football. Should a football club owner be aligning himself and his image to something like that, with doping so high on the agenda? I mean, we don't know, to be fair, and nor do Wrexham know what kind of take McElhenney, what kind of spin he will put in this.
It's like saying, should football be banning players for a year for gambling and then taking millions of gamblings for it? You know, one goes with the other. So I can't judge Rob McElhenney for doing what he's doing. He's obviously in the entertainment industry to make money. It's what he does. He's a producer as well as an actor, I believe, and a director. So, you know, I don't think that puts him in a bad light as an owner. At the end of the day, again, I think probably for an OTT on something. But as regards this, and what's it called, Enhanced Games or whatever?
Enhanced Games.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad porn movie. Good luck to them. It's not something I'd have any interest watching. It is cheating. I agree with you there. I mean, usually I'm always laughing. You're outraged, but in this case, I actually.
Oh, you're with me on this.
I agree. It is.
Well, it is cheating, and they all cheat.
No, it is. It's a waste of time. I have no time for that nonsense.
I mean, can you believe it? These games has announced a casting call for 10 athletes to take drugs and participate in the documentary series and the games. Now, you have to think McElhenney's take will be super critical.
Well, we don't know what his take is, and I guess that's the idea where it's been leaked out there he's doing something. But I think he's involved. If you look at him, I think he's got a production company that does produce different stuff.
Right.
So just to say he's actually the person involved, he's just the boss behind it, and he's got his people doing it. So again, we don't know what he's doing. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. And even if it is about doping and he's involved, you know, does that affect him owning a football club? I'm not breaking any rules, so good luck to him. He makes a few quid. God, they're making plenty of a few quid, those boys.
Some have got their own view, and some in the category of one Simon Jordan, about the arrival on the scene of the Hollywood types, Mr. Reynolds and Mr. McElhenney. And before I get to you, Dara, this is Simon's take on that.
I do not decry the impact and the effect that they're having on their football club. My question is, when it gets expensive, and I mean really expensive,
right?
Because this time last year we were hearing them say if we didn't get promoted, it was existential, because that £1 million it would have cost if we didn't get promoted was an existential threat. Well, I've no interest in them either which way. I'm just not attributing more to them than is necessary. Of course, the awareness factor would have gone up to fivefold, but the championship wouldn't be a secret. It's also not huge amounts of money. What they've done is they've turned an ailing Welsh football club into something that people are talking about. Well done to them. But I don't want to go overboard attributing far too much to them than they necessarily merit. They've got huge interest because a lot of people look at Ryan Reynolds. The other fella, you know, he carries his bag.
I love Simon. His spin is great. I agree with a lot what he says. I don't agree with some of what he says. At the end of the day, there's two things in life you have. Things I always talk about is jealousy and envy, and they can be mistook for each other. I hate jealousy. I think it's an evil thing. I don't want to be envious of someone else. I don't want people to be envious of me. Envy's people want what other people want. I'm envious, Jim. You know, you go drive a nice car. I'd love to have that. You know, that kind of thing. And I think people look at them and there's a lot of jealousy. I'm not saying Simon's jealous of. Fair play to them. They bought in, they came up with a project, it was Makeleni who did it and brought fundamentals in. They've managed to finance this project by selling documentaries, advertising, doing deals with their wives, skincare companies, drink companies, where they've had to put very little of their own dough in. Anyone who comes in and buys a club and has a couple of promotions, you know, increases and grows their crowds, their commercial. I saw the revenue the other day turn over 15, 20 million quid a year now from turning over 5 million quid when they first went in. Anyone who does that as a successful person at what they're doing, they put some good people in. I watched the Wrexham documentary. It was quite good the first season and a half, and then it kind of peters out like a lot of sports documentaries.
Are you envious of it?
I'm not envious of it. I'm very rarely envious of other people now at this stage in life because I've had a lot of things other people have had. When I was growing up in Marbella, Spain, I with all the cars and the boats and the money. I'm envious. I want some of that. I've had plenty of that.
But they've got something you don't have. Hollywood fame.
If I wanted to be a Hollywood star, I would be. I decided I wanted to sell houses and make a few quid. It would take a bit longer being an actor. As I say to my kids, I was actually a good actor in school.
Oh, but you could have gone down that road, could you?
Jim, I was of that mind when I was 18, 19, 20. I could do anything I want.
I could be sitting next to Forrest Gump.
Thanks for saying that. It'd be more like James Bond, but anyhow. But the reality is, no, look, the only thing that irritates me about the whole Wrexham thing isn't Wrexham themselves. I have a lot of admiration for their owners, the people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's the media talk about them all the time. I read them most days because as an EFL owner I like to, and they cover a lot of EFL stuff. But every day I pull it up and you go to the Championship in League 1 and League 2. Every week in League 2 there's stuff about Wrexham. It's non-stop, it's nauseating. And you almost go, I get why they're doing it, because they want an American audience to read it. But at the end of the day, there are 72 of us out there. And, you know, but
they've raised the profile. Haven't they?
I agree with Simon. I think, like Simon, they need to calm down with that, whereby we're bigger than Leeds. I've just said to you, I've just given them, listen, there you go with all the, get them a tissue, please. Here's some wet wipes, Jim.
Well, 40% rise in overseas broadcasting.
Jim. I'm not disputing what you're saying. I've just said they're good for the game. I said to my wife 3 years ago when this all started, they will be in the Championship in 4 years' time. And she was like, never going to happen. And I'm like, trust me, they will be in the Championship. And probably we'll be in League 1 and they'll be in the Championship because they can pay 7, 8, 9 grand a week to players. We can't.
Yeah.
That's the dynamic of the game.
Right.
And by the way, I have respect for anyone who comes in and spends very little of their own money, turns a project into a lot more money and worth a lot more money, because if they sold Wrexham tomorrow, they'd make a nice hefty profit.
I detect envy and jealousy.
No jealousy, no envy, respect.
Okay.
You're taking it the wrong way.
Okay.
Like I said, take your wet wipe, clean your lips. I'm here to give you an honest opinion.
40% rise in overseas broadcasting rights. That's come from the boys at Wrexham.
Bull S. That's not just them.
Thank you, Darren. We're coming up to 12 noon. It's Thursday, and that means that lovable little rogue, Spencer Oliver, arrives in the scene, and he will bring with him top boxing promoter Ben Shalom.
White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco Builders Warehouse. With the Selco app, it's now even easier to buy from Selco. Download it for free from the App Store today. White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check stock at your local branch. We've got it at selcobw.com.
The football season is well and truly underway with Betfair. And if you're looking to get involved in all the action, then look no further. At Betfair, we've made it faster and easier to build your ACCA this football season. Celebrate this weekend with a completely free ACCA or Bet Builder on football. Betfair.
Opt-in and previous deposit required. Max free bet varies from £1 to £10 per customer. Minimum odds of 1.5 on minimum one leg. T's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Uno is now available in McDonald's Happy Meal. So let's see who can shout Uno first.
Bring it on.
Yes, yes. Ooh, no! A wild card! Right, yes, back in the game. Yes. Ooh, no! I draw one card.
Uno. Better luck next time.
Have fun with your Uno cards. Does that one count?
Nope.
Oh, some fun, some food. It's all inside this Happy Meal. Until 7th of May from 11 a.m. Includes one selected book or toy. Uno range comprises toys only while stocks last.
If your business is the victim of a cyber attack, taken over by an unknown entity without your permission, information is stolen. Records can. Then Hiscox could help get you back on track. The story of your business, underwritten by Hiscox Business Insurance. Subject to already holding a relevant Hiscox policy and subject to policy eligibility, terms and conditions.
At Morrison's, get any fourth of £5 from over 30 frozen products. From Bird's Eye Garden peas, potato waffles, Goodfellas pizzas, plus many more. That's more easy peasy tea sorted. Morrison's to shop at Morrison's. Majority of stores are online, subject to availability. Selected lines ends 14th of April.
At B&Q and Tree Point, get 3 for 2 on interior paint and paint mixing, and 4 for 3 on laminate and luxury vinyl click flooring. That's a big spring refresh for less. Shop in-store or online. You can do it when you're B&Q it. Exclusions apply, ends 8th of April, cdiy.com.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. That's why they got me, Chris Rock, to tell you about BetMGM's golden offers. Sign up to BetMGM, bet £10, and get £40 in free bets. We're making every game an occasion. Get ready for the golden era in sports betting. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. Wagering requirements and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
1089 and 1053 medium wave on DAB on the app on your smart speaker.
Supersized full-rate pool with over 50 games of live football.
Talk Sport.
Talk sport.
With Lookers. With over 140 dealerships nationwide, it's the place to find new and used cars and vans. Visit lookers.co.uk.
Good afternoon, I'm Max Scott here with your sports headlines. With Arsenal closer than ever to a first title in 20 years, Mikel Arteta says Martin Odegaard's leadership has helped them get there.
He's made huge steps there. His presence, the way he's behaving himself in front of the group, and the standard that he set is outstanding. And he's got a lot of players as well to support him, and the rest to follow with him.
His goal last night made it 9 for the season as the Gunners beat Luton 2-0. They're currently a point clear of Liverpool, who face Sheffield United live and exclusive on TalkSport tonight. Phil Foden reminded Gareth Southgate how influential he can be in the number 10 position last night. He scored a hat-trick as City cruised past Villa 4-1. Rodri says he's not seen a talent quite like Foden before.
The ball is for him. I mean, whatever he wants to do, he can do it. Of course, he needs to keep going and growing, but already he's one of the most important players of the league and for us.
Foden stole the show with Haaland and De Bruyne on the bench, but Pep Guardiola says he put his best starting 11 out there.
We put the team because we believe from the circumstances today was the best, not because I want to raise a special play.
Mauricio Pochettino believes too many of his players are in the comfort zone. He suggested some of the Chelsea squad believe their own hype and need to toughen up if they're going to improve. They take on Manchester United live and exclusive on TalkSport 2 tonight. And Rory McIlroy is doing whatever it takes to join the elite group of pros to win a career Grand Slam. It's his 10th attempt at winning the Masters next week. He's had lessons with Tiger Woods' former coach as he looks to get his hands on that famous green jacket.
Talk sport news.
Airport passengers face another year of restrictions on what they can carry in hand luggage. There's been a huge surge in the love of takeaways since the pandemic. Anna's got more on that at 5:30.
Talk sport weather with Quick Fit. We're focused on the road ahead with over 300 EV train centres. Find your local EV train centre at quickfit.com so you can drive away happy every time.
Some bright spells across England and Wales with the odd shower, but heavier rains expected in the southwest later.
100% engagement. Jim White and Simon Jordan on Talk Sport.
Spencer Oliver has arrived on the scene because it's Thursday lunchtime and that means we talk boxing. Spencer, you've got your work cut out for you today because you're alongside Peterborough United owner Darragh McAntony, and I'm looking at the messages coming in this lunchtime. Darragh McAntony, is he not just wonderful? Well, he sure is. And alongside Dara, myself and Spencer, we have Ben Shalom, the Chief Executive of Boxer, top promoter, of course, Ben, in the world of boxing. Gentlemen, good afternoon, and you're most welcome.
How are you boys? You well?
Very good, very good. Before I go any further, you love your boxing. You've been to some big fights, right, Dara?
Yeah, Mayweather, Pacquiao, all the fights. Canelo, I've been to every one of his fights the last 4 years. I did Wilder and Fury Vegas. I've done, a lot of fights.
to Vegas.
I did Wembley. I did Tyson Fury at Wembley, but I got attacked front row down there. It was quite lively at the time. Some fella tried to throw acid in my face.
No way.
Yeah. He was a traveller fella who basically was trying to get in my seat, and I had a row with him, and he came at me with acid and everything else. It was like, it was a mad night, but that was Wembley. It got crazy, but no, I did love the boxing.
I tell you what, it was a crazy night on Saturday night. That's for sure.
Yeah, that is for sure.
It really was. It
Well,
really was.
I tell you, I don't think it was as bad as that in the crowd at the weekend, but certainly on Sunday night, Fraser Clark against Fabio Wardley. Ben, congratulations! What a night! How was it for you?
It was. I've said before, it was exhausting. It was intense. It was one of the best fights I've ever witnessed. Never mind promoting. A special night. Both guys deserve a huge amount of credit. It was an incredible card. The way that they sold the O2, the interest that it generated. This is a British title fight. This is Fraser Clark in his 9th fight. The numbers, everything was incredible, but then they have to deliver. They both left absolutely everything in the ring. I think both of them are still sort of trying to gather their whereabouts. It was such a serious fight. There was so much on the line. You could see neither of them would give an inch, didn't want to lose. Both of them should be so proud of themselves. And I think it's one of those fights that you almost have to take your breath after, because it shows the sport in its most brutal form, but also its most beautiful form, where both of them have just absolutely given their soul.
Okay,
And,
well, nobody got the win in the night, Spencer, so they'll do it again. What did you think of that decision in the end?
I thought it was the right decision. Absolutely spot on that.
Did you say this is going to be a draw?
Absolutely. Well, listen, no, we said it's going to go one way or the other. It could be a round one way, and it could be a draw. I looked over to Johnny Nelson, I'm going, what way are you going? Because like we go, was it Wardley by a round? Was it Clark by a round? I'm looking at Johnny. Johnny's going, I'm going all level. I'm going for the draw. And you're going, everyone's sitting there going, it's got to be a draw. And I know they do it round by round, so you never know how it's going to come out. But you look at, just to echo what Ben said, you look at what those guys done, what they put in, what they left in the ring. I know what that's like to be in there. And like they were fighting on empty from about round 5. When Fraser Clark went over in round 5, the bell rang, he come out, he thought this could be it now. He come back and it was like a seesaw, back and forth, back and forth. It will go down in history as one of the best heavyweight British title fights of all time. I mean, like, because of what they've done, what they left in the ring. Coming out for round 10, I thought, one of them's got to go. Even when we got into round 12, I went, I'm sure this is going to end now. Where are they finding it from? Like you don't realise that the dark place they have to go to find the courage to carry on.
Most importantly, when do we see it again? That's going to be a trilogy now. I mean, this is got to be like the money involved in this fight now.
It's the biggest fight out there for both of them. 100%. So it will happen again. It will happen again. I thought Fraser Clark nicked it. Obviously, I think the point deduction for me was unfair. But then I sat back. I was gutted on the night, but I sat back the next day and I thought, you know what? Neither one deserved to lose that. What Fabio Wardley put in, he looked as though he could be finished at any time, and then a couple of seconds later, he'd be thrown a combination and be the dangerous fighter.
I heard Spence ask you, could it do pay-per-view next time?
I think the numbers that it generated the first time were so good that of course it can. Yeah, of course it can. It's captured the imagination of the public. There's very, very few fights where the narrative takes hold, and everyone, it felt like the whole country was watching that on Sunday night.
And when you look at the brutality that was involved in that fight, and you look at what the guys put on the line for that, and it is prize fighting in day, and you go, everyone would want to see that again. Of course it would be pay-per-view. I mean, that is value for money like that. That was edge of your seat stuff. From round 1 to round 12, rarely do you get that, especially with heavyweights.
I think you get it again. I think you get it again.
The really striking thing about it, Ben, is that it's a timely reminder, is it not, that we have not lost the value of a great British fight on British soil.
That's what fans care about, and we sat down as a team after, and there's all these talks about world title eliminators and world titles and international titles. But when you sit down and study really what performs, we're looking at the top 5 viewing figures of the past 10 years on Sky. It's British fights every time that deliver.
Every time.
There's something about it. It's the narrative, but it's also the heart of the British fighters. It's what it means to them. It's what it means to the country. It's a very tribal country where fans really get involved. And you strip it all back. That's what performs. That's what fans want to see. And the amount of boxing fans that will have been created on Sunday night who haven't seen a fight like that for a very, very long time is incredible. And I think that has to be the focus for us now.
Incidentally, why was it Sunday night?
Just audiences. I think Easter Sunday, you had City Arsenal, 4 million people watching. No doubt a lot of them stayed. It was huge.
It can be done.
And obviously the bank holiday Monday and everything like that. It worked perfectly.
Yeah. So how long do you think it will take to get them back in the ring again?
You know what? Selfishly, we were hoping to go again very quickly, but you knew straight away it's going to take some serious time. I think Fabio in particular will need to see how damaged his face is and his nose. I'd like to see it this year. I think we can be hopeful it happens this year. It won't happen in the summer. I don't think they'll be quite ready.
Financially, let me ask you this. Because both of them got in the match, they earned a lot of money for that fight.
Yeah.
I presume fight number 2, bigger checks are going to get written.
Yeah, and they both deserve it.
100%.
Because
that's why you do it.
That's why you do it, and they're not stealing the living. They're literally giving absolutely everything for it, and they deserve it off the back of that. Both of them do, and that's why the day after I'm thinking, you know what, the draw's the best result because they both have now earned probably the biggest payday. Well, definitely the biggest payday of their career, something that they probably couldn't have dreamt of.
Now, Ben, you say that. There's Paul, the Manchester City fan. Spencer Oliver has more faces than a Rubik's Cube. He said Wardley won by 2 rounds on Sunday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I said. I said it was one of those fights that could have gone one way or the other. I had Wardley around maybe 2 rounds up going in there, but like you say, you're looking at it because the rounds are so subjective. You're looking around and you're looking for, I don't know, like you're looking for security of other people. Have I read this right? Where am I going with it? When the draw was announced, you go, I'm so pleased for both fighters because no one deserved to win it.
Right. So there's no disappointment around Rage.
Absolutely. So yeah. That's what you said, Spencer.
Absolutely.
And incidentally, there's no shame in a comment like that. Joey Barton once said I'd be more patient than a dodecahedron, which I think is a dinosaur of some description. Ben, great having you on board. Fraser Clark, of course, was one half of that memorable fight. Fraser is going to join us live. Producer Luke tells me about past. They all listen to this hour, and I'm delighted to say they are all listening to this hour in the world of boxing, Darren. And Fraser Clark will join us live from past. A lot to get through, though, with Ben Shalom and Spencer Oliver.
White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco. For the latest special offers, pick up this month's real deals in branch or view online at selcobw.com. White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco Builders Warehouse. With the Selco app, it's now even easier to buy from Selco. Download it for free from the App Store today.
Hey, Harry. Hello, mate. Got a nap lined up for today. Listen, pal, I may not look like the young stallion I once was. I'm still I'll have you know. No, Harry, that's not what I meant. I'm not even that old. I do boxercise 3 times a week, and my trainer says... No, I mean the horses. Your Nat, your Napoleon, your best bet. Oh, well, you should have said that. My best bet will be to head over to Bet Victor and check out the latest offers they have on the horses.
Listen to Harry. Make your best bet on the racing at Bet Victor. 18 plus for gamble rental.
With Now, you can stream the biggest action on Sky Sports instantly and without a contract. This Sunday sees a rivalry reignited as Manchester United host Liverpool at Old Trafford. But that's not all. Catch the drama for the Old Firm Derby, Japanese Grand Prix and the ATP Masters in Monte Carlo. Get all Sky Sports channels for a day or a whole month with a Now Sports membership. Stream a big weekend of sport live with Now. Head to nowtv.com.
18 plus Sky Sports content streamed via internet. Full terms apply.
That goal, that concert, that move, that feeling. It could only have happened here. Following the footsteps of legends on a tour of Wembley Stadium with exclusive access to the dressing rooms, press room and even the Royal Box. Plus, experience the journey made by the world's biggest names in football through the Players' Tunnel and onto England's most iconic sporting stage. Wembley's award-winning stadium tour kicks off every morning from 10. Book now at wembley.com/tours. It matters more at Wembley.
From the case files of Miss Maureen 118212.
You know, the life of a telephone detective is never dull. 1 minute you might be called by a lady from Luton looking for a lighting shop. The next it might be a gent from Darrow who just needs a jeweller. Whatever the number you need is Maureen, 118212.
Maureen, 18212.
Calls cost £2.50 per call plus 75p a minute with a minimum 1 minute charge plus your phone company's access charge.
Where would we be without curiosity? It's the drive that takes us to new places.
It even got us to the moon.
So satisfy your curiosity about electric cars with the Hyundai Explore Electric event, which is on until the 30th of June, where you'll find our award-winning range of electric cars, including the Ioniq 5. Explore more at hyundai.co.uk. It's the dawn of a new Hyundai.
We always back an arse in the Grand National.
Just can't beat it. That's the one everyone wants to win.
I love a national, but absolutely zero strategy behind who I choose.
I'm an each way, man. I'll pick someone further downfield.
To be honest, my favourite bit.
Favourite.
I back the outsider.
Whatever colour top they're wearing, that's me.
However you pick your Grand National horse, Betfred. They're off. Love the National.
Betfred.
18 plus, begambleaware.org. Talk Sport travel regime with My Dear, driving down the cost of cooling and heating. My Pro partners and more when completing first-year service visits. Reroute to mydearuk.co.uk.
I'm sorry, the anti-clockwise M25 is closed for accident investigation work. That's from junction 6 for Godstone to 5 for the M26. Those queues are back to the M23 at junction 7. In Merseyside, the southbound M57, now the exit slip is closed at junction 1 for Tarbuck Island. A lane is closed on the main carriageway as well. That's all down to repair work. And delays in Manchester for the eastbound M62, coming past an accident at junction 18 for Ciminster Island. I'm Julian Brett.
Have you ever heard a kettle snore? Or a hairdryer in a deep slumber? This is the sound of saving money. Because giving your appliances a power nap during peak hours isn't just better for the planet. With OVO, you'll be earning money off future bills too. See what you can save. Search OVO Power Move. Terms and eligibility criteria apply. Smart meter customers only.
Thursday night, Premier League. Live on Talk Sport.
He's popped up with an absolute belter of a goal.
Liverpool versus Sheffield United.
Coverage from 7 kick-off from 7:30.
No one else brings you more. And he smashed it into the top corner.
Thursday night on Talk Sport. Football fantastic.
Top boxing promoter Ben Shalom alongside Spencer and alongside Darren McAntony and myself this Thursday lunchtime. We're talking, of course, about the amazing fight on Sunday night, Fraser Clark, Fabio Wardley, which was a boxer event. Actually, an interesting number of messages coming in, Ben. I'll select one. The atmosphere on Sunday night sounded absolutely amazing. I listened to it on the radio. Can you imagine what the atmosphere would be like again if Fury or AJ chose to fight here? I mean, this is where we're getting all the time, Ben. This is coming over all the time. Here. It's got to be here.
Look, I will say what they're doing over in Saudi is incredible. And we're seeing fights that we otherwise not see and aren't commercially possible and just wouldn't happen. But, of course, a fight like that between two British guys, there's nowhere better to box on planet Earth, I don't think, than in the UK.
Would you take the dough from Saudi?
Listen, when...
Nice one, Darren.
Everybody's got a price, I would say.
Absolutely. Ultimately, as I said, we've never had boxing so good, and we've never had fights so easily made. I think the fights that can't be made now, of course, you'd want Saudi assistance with it, because look at what they're doing. But I do agree with Jim, when there's fights like Wardley Clark, when there's fights like Buatsi Yard, or Riakpo, Chris Smith, the British front matches, you want to make them here.
But let's not kid ourselves. If the Saudis wrote a cheque for that rematch from the two lads we saw on Sunday night,
of course,
you'd be on an airplane with them tomorrow.
Of course. But it would be the fighters. It would be a fighter taking
the British public and all of the atmosphere.
It would be the fighters taking most of the game.
There are many people listening are enjoying your direct line of questioning, which is absolutely not.
No, you are. Of course you are.
Ben can certainly cope with that and more. One fight many people would love to see, and you know what's coming here, Mr. Shalondon, is Adam Azim, your fighter, against Dalton Smith. Dalton Smith, of course, can do no wrong, nor can Adam Azim right now. Dalton Smith was in the studio just the other day, and he was talking about the prospect of facing Azim.
I've said I want to get to the end of my career. I want all the traditional belts. I've got the English, I've won the British, Commonwealth. The only two I need to win now is a European and a world title. So, you know, of course, it'd be nice to win the European. Adam Azim's a champion. That's why it makes sense there. But of course, we need an answer whether, you know, Adam's going to take the fight or vacate. Like I say, it's nothing personal between me and Adam. Boxing's a business, and if I want the European title, Adam's the champion. But you can't sit there and be like, and not give us no answers. You either take the fight or you vacate the title. Adam needs more fights. It's not the right time for him right now. And like I say, I don't want to speak and be disrespectful on Adam because he's shown me respect and he's a respectful guy. But boxing's a business, and when there's something there what I want to win and go out and achieve, you've got to be outspoken about it.
So that was Dalton Smith saying he wants it, the boxing public would want it, so let's deliver it. Now, since then, Adam Azim, Ben Shalom's fighter, has relinquished his European super lightweight title after being mandated to face Dalton Smith. So the fight now isn't going to happen. And Eddie Hearn, Dalton Smith's man, had his own reasons as to why.
You can sugarcoat what you want. Adam Azim has ducked Dalton Smith. I mean, we had the official notice today from the EBU that he's relinquishing his belt. And you can try and dress it up with fights that haven't been made yet and other fights that can be made. And, you know, 1 minute Adam's only 21 and Dalton's 27, but Harlem Eubank's 30, and like the whole thing's a load of really. The fact is, you're not good enough to fight Dalton Smith. You know you can't beat Dalton Smith. It's absolutely fine. We could have avoided all this, and you can talk about we're a victim of the game and they don't want to work with us. I mean, it's absolute rubbish. Like, you've only got to look at the facts. You know, when we were working with Fabio Wardley and the Fraser Clark fight was ordered, they pulled out of negotiations in the first bit. They've just done it again with Azim and Dalton Smith. When Richard Riakporhe got ordered to fight J.R. Petaya for the world title, they pulled out of the fight and they pulled out of negotiations. When Caroline Dubois got ordered to fight against Beatrice Ferreira for the world title, they pulled out of the fight and they pulled out of negotiations. And now Chev Clark is mandatory to Isaac Chamberlain. They won't even mention his name. In fact, when he went in to get an interview, they cut the fees. And you can say, you know, people are working against us and people are like, again, the proof is in the pudding. You've got 5 brilliant fights there, and every one they haven't been winning to negotiate or to be in.
So Ben, Eddie Hearn says you lot get form here, that you pull fighters out of potential fights on a regular basis. What do you want to say to that?
I think, obviously, it was good to listen to that. I think, personally, look at the Fraser Clark Fabio Wardley situation. The amount of grief, the amount of attention, the amount of scrutiny that decision came under. And then we sat here after a night like Sunday, and it's quite obvious, that speaks for itself. My duty is to my fighters. Anyone in boxing, any ex-boxer, knew that was a good decision when it happened. Didn't have to wait for Sunday night to see, oh my God, that was a grueling fight, that was 12 rounds, thank God Fraser Clark had a bit more experience, because otherwise he might not have known where he was at fitness-wise. Anywhere.
But why are we not going to see Adam Azim, your man,
in the same way, like Dalton said, it has to also be the right time for Adam Azim. And Adam Azim, when he weighs up the options on the table, has a potential Eubank fight. And I ask all the listeners on here today, sometimes we have to create a superstar, and we've got a decision to make. Do we choose a Eubank or do we choose Dalton Smith? And don't get me wrong, both tough fights. Dalton Smith, a tougher fight.
Do you think there's more chance he loses to Smith?
I think at this stage in his career, it would be the wrong decision. Okay. I'm not saying he wouldn't win right now, but in 3 or 4 fights' time, as we've seen with Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley, both fighters are earning a huge amount more money. Sure. It's a much bigger fight. Sure. And not only was Fraser Clark thankful for what happened on Sunday night, so was Fabio Wardley. And so
you're talking about Harlem Eubank next for
yeah, but we want to make, just to be clear, we do want to make fights with Matchroom. We've had Tyler Denny go over there, and he's about to fight Felix Cash. We had.
When was the last time you sat with Eddie Hearn?
I've never sat with anyone.
Right, and this is what drives me mad about all you guys. Because I love
You
boxing.
never sat with them?
And I know Eddie's upset because you're having this fling with Sky. And obviously you never want to see your ex end up with someone else. But the way I'll put it this way, you're all the bosses. Yourself, Frank, obviously, and there's a lot of kids involved, sons and everything else. Why don't any of you guys ever sit together? Because surely that's beneficial for you guys, your fighters. They're now doing it. Don't you look at that and go, I need to get at that table?
Look,
well, Eddie and Frank sit together now.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think that's the Saudi investment.
But that's the Saudi investment.
But
Let's be absolutely clear about that. Right? We, of course, would sit down. We've tried to from the start. I think the difficulty we've got, you look at Adam Azim, Ben Whittaker, Fraser Clark, Caroline Dubois, they're developing their careers on the biggest platform.
Great stage.
So they're not just becoming fantastic fighters, they're becoming celebrities, they're becoming stars, they're becoming... Every other fighter in the division is looking through the shop window saying, I want a piece of that, and I want it as early as possible. And so our job is to make sure they become the stars, fulfill their potential, make the absolute maximum amount of money that they can make, and take the fights right at the right time.
Ben, who told Adam Azim to relinquish his title?
Take risks.
It's not about taking risks. Not take
was it you? Was it him? Was it his decision to relinquish his title?
It's the McGuigans, and it's our decision that we make as a team, and we sit down, and we have to look. Anyone, as I say, in that boxing circle can see Harlem Eubank is the right fight for Adam Azim. Commercially, it's the right fight. From a boxing development, it's the right fight. From where he's at in his career, it's the right fight.
Let me ask you a serious question. Would you have asked, I'm a big Canelo fan, I think he's one of the best of all time. Would you have asked Canelo not to have fought Mayweather when he was 22? The fight he lost early on?
Would
That's
I
what
have
you're saying to me,
asked
as his promoter, you're trying to protect them.
It's not just about protection.
Would
It's
you
also about money.
Would you
right?
stop them in that fight?
Mayweather brought a huge amount of money to the table for Canelo.
But you talk
right,
before
and took him to the next level.
Yeah.
You're talking about a fighter that hasn't got, and no disrespect to Dalton Smith, because I think he's a phenomenal fighter, that hasn't got the profile of Adam Azim, that Adam Azim's not getting any bigger off, that it's actually the other way around. Sure. Of course, looking up, you want the biggest names. That's what elevates you in boxing, and that's why I go back to fighting a Eubank. For all the listeners here today and on Sky Sports and Eubank Senior, is going to take Adam Azim to superstar level. Superstar level.
Yeah,
I think
not looking down in a profile sense and fighting a very tough fight very, very early on in his career.
But Ben, you would underline this fact for us this lunchtime, or would you? That you get no problem doing business with Hernan
Absolutely not, and we'd love to. And I challenge them.
Have you ducked them?
I challenge them. We would love to sit down all at the table.
But in the past, have you ducked them?
It's never been to do with Matchroom or a platform. Fraser Clark not fighting Fabio Wardley was to do with Fraser Clark having 6 fights and only having 4 or 6 rounder. Nothing to do with Matchroom.
Jim, I think he's about a 2 year.
Eddie Hearn's on Drive later this afternoon. Sorry, Spencer. He's going to be on Drive. Think about it, Ben. What message do you want to say to him before he goes on Drive this afternoon?
I think he knows what he's doing because he's a smart guy and he's a boxing promoter himself. And when you've got in our position, he would do exactly the same thing because I hope he would. What I would look at is Jordan Thompson, who was slung in against Jai Opetaia, and I don't like to throw stones, but what's that done for his career? You know, you can talk about giving fighters opportunities. He hasn't even fought at English title level yet, and I will not cash out, even though it might be beneficial for me from a financial point of view. Someone that's believed in me, someone that's been with me from debut, early on in the career, we're not going to cash them out for something that's not in their interest. Dalton Smith against Adam Azim, just like Wardley Clark was, will be one of the biggest fights in British boxing, and it will sell out an arena and possibly be pay-per-view, and they'll earn 5 or 6 times the amount they would earn in the next fight. And I think that's it. Sorry, what's the message to Eddie? Let's sit down, let's make some fights.
We should get them on the show together. Sit down, negotiate across the table. Needs to happen.
That's the one. The message was a good one, Ben. The message was a good one. Fraser Clark's going to join us after this.
White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco. For everyday low trade prices on all your essential building materials, visit your local branch or head to selcobw.com. White and Jordan on Talk Sport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Order online for free delivery at selcobw.com.
We always back an arse in the Grand National.
Just can't beat it. That's the one everyone wants to win.
I love the National, but absolutely zero strategy behind who I choose.
I mean, each way, man, I'll pick someone further downfield.
To be honest, my favourite, eh?
I always pick the favourite.
I back the outsider.
Whatever colour top they wear.
However you pick your Grand National horse, Betfred.
They're off.
Love the National, Betfred. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
What a legend!
He's a quality striker.
No, not him. The electrician fixing those lights. He switched to QuickBooks because it has real help from real people.
That is truly game-changing.
Switch to Intuit QuickBooks and enjoy 90% off. That is how your business will be. Apply for 12-month contract. Terms and conditions apply. Check the website for full details.
Visit to a McDonald's, get a Happy Meal for just $1.99. Consider afternoon play dates, post-swimming cravings, and social movie marathons, salty. Exclusively available in McDonald's app until the 15th of April. 18 plus, app only, one-time use daily, ends 15th of April. Participating restaurants only, subject to availability, T's and C's apply.
Getting your business off the starting blocks and taking it to the next level is exciting, and NatWest's dedicated team could support you all the way. Get 2 years free banking on everyday transactions when you open a startup account or switch to NatWest Business Banking, backed by the current account switch guarantee. So join the hundreds of thousands of businesses across the UK who are already taking the next step. Tomorrow begins today with NatWest. Proud partner, Team GB. Search NatWest Business. Turnover under 1 million for startup, under 2 million for switch. Standard tariff thereafter. Switchers must use the current account switch service. Can't transfer another NatWest Group business account. Other fees and criteria may apply.
Travis Perkins have got tons of perks. Travis Perks, to help you with your landscaping jobs. Like Travis Perk number 7. Big trade deals on their garden and driveway range. To help you drive your way to success. Get it?
Stick to the script, please, Nick.
And Travis Perk number 15. Real-time order tracking. To help you stay on track. Threw in another little pun there.
Hilarious.
Find more Travis Perks at travisperkins.co.uk. Terms apply.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. That's why they got me, Chris Rock, to tell you about BetMGM's golden offers. Sign up to BetMGM, bet £10, and get £40 in free bets. We're making every game an occasion. Get ready for the golden era in sports betting. BetMGM. It's showtime.
New customers only. Wagering requirements and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. Talk Sport. Talk Sport. News.
Good afternoon, I'm Anna Geary. Pressure is growing on the UK government to suspend arms sales to Israel after 7 aid workers died in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza. More than 600 legal experts have written to the Prime Minister saying the UK risks breaking international law if exports don't end. New rules to scrap the 100-millilitre liquid limit in hand luggage on flights are delayed. Ministers have given some UK airports another 12 months to install new security scanners. They've been plagued with supply chain issues and pricey building work. London City Airport made the switch last year and COO Alison Fitzgerald saw a difference.
We already know that we can get 30% more passengers through in an hour versus what we previously could.
The new machines also mean passengers won't need to separate laptops and tablets from bags. The Co-op saw the highest ever levels of shoplifting and antisocial behaviour last year. The retailer said crime soared 44% compared with 2022. It dealt with the equivalent of 1,000 cases per day. And we've got wind, rain and snow warnings across the UK this weekend. The Met Office says Storm Kathleen will bring gusts of up to 70 miles per hour across Northern Ireland and along the west coast of England, Wales and Scotland.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you need a professional grade sealant with high mold resistance, easy tooling and minimal shrinkage, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
The uncertainty over Eric Ten Hag's future is doing no one at Old Trafford any good, according to René Mullenstein. And Leah Williamson will captain the Lionesses against Sweden tomorrow if she's fit enough. You can hear live commentary on England's Euro 2025 qualifier over on TalkSport 2.
See the Sunday edition and the Sunday session on Talk Sport? I always get the two of them mixed up. Session edition, they sound like the same thing. It's dead confusing, which is why I've come up with a poem to help you tell them apart. Okay, here goes. There's the one called the Sunday edition, with two men on a weekly sports mission. The phone lines are humming, and Henry Winter is coming, so make it your morning must listen.
The Sunday edition, your unforgettable full-colour Sunday sports supplement with legendary football writers Henry Winter and Sean Custis. Hear all about it this Sunday morning at 9 on Talk Sport.
Well, the great and the good from the world of boxing are amongst us being Jim White and Peterborough United owner Darren McAntony. Of course, it's Thursday lunchtime and Spencer Oliver is in our midst, but he's brought along the CEO of Boxer, a good friend of ours, Ben Shalom, live here in studio. And Ben, one of the two fighters who put on that magnificent show of yours on Sunday night, joins us live. Of course, it was a split decision in the end, it was a draw in the end. Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley. Fraser Clark joins us live from a beach somewhere, not unsurprisingly. Fraser, where do we find you? Maybe you don't want to tell us where you are.
No, I'm in beautiful Altea, Spain, just down by the harbour. So yes, enjoy some time with family.
Fantastic. We've got you live. Viewers on YouTube and Facebook can watch it live. How's it been for you since Sunday night? I mean, at the end of it, the two of you beat each other up fair and square. What's it like for you recuperating after a fight like that, Peter?
Yeah, it's challenging, you know, on the body definitely. It took me a few days, but, you know, I'm feeling better now. It's been a whirlwind, you know, a lot of messages, a lot of well wishes, which is a bit of a change compared to what I had going into the fight. But, yeah, it's been overwhelming and very nice to hear some of the beautiful comments, but still a little bit disappointed with the decision. You know, I thought I did enough, but, you know, we live and we learn, and I'll definitely build on this.
Do you know what, Fraser? It was one of those fights, wasn't it? It was a seesaw. It was going back and forth, back and forth. You think 1 minute, you know, he was coming on top, then you was coming on top. You thought, how long can this go on? You know, can these guys see the final bell? I think us live there on the night, we thought, no, they're never going to see it. One of them's going to have to crack at some point. But the strength of character that you both showed, you looked at it and you go, like, you're weighing it up and you go, right, on the night I thought that Wardley won by a round or two. You watch it back and you go, it's worthy of a draw because there shouldn't be a loser in that. The only winner in it all really is the boxing fans, because we get a chance, hopefully, to see it again. But I've got to commend you both, mate, for putting on a gladiatorial performance. That was something else, and that will develop you as a fighter. You know, you'll push on from that. You'll take so much strength. That was only your 9th contest.
Yeah, you know, it definitely, he's definitely already taught me a few things. You know, I've not quite watched the full thing back yet. I've not brought myself to do that, but just from being in there and getting that experience, I know where I went wrong. I know when I should have finished the fight. And I probably just couldn't get the shot I was looking for, which is credit to Fabio Wardley. You know, he's very, very tough. He's very durable, because there's one thing being tough and durable, and there's another thing, you know, fighting back when you took the kind of shots that he was taking. So, you know, full plaudits to him, and hopefully, you know, Ben and the team can get together. And, you know, I'm definitely willing. I'd love to do it again, because, you know, it doesn't quite sit right with me. A draw just feels like a loss to a fighter, I think. So I'd love to get my revenge, and next time I'll get the job done properly.
I saw your reaction actually after the fight, and how down you was over that. You know, I think that, like I said to you, it was a gladiatorial for both of you guys, but you was upset that you didn't get the victory. You felt like that, you know, the draw was a loss. So, I mean, look, for the boxing fans, for British boxing as well, that to take place, you know, on British soil, I mean, we would love to see that again. We hope that Ben Schlong, you know, and the team can get that together and we get that rematch.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something that could be talked about and can be done. Like I said, it was just amazing to see the reaction we've had since, and I'm sure Fabio is experiencing the same amount of confidence as I am. But ultimately, you know, once you share the ring with someone, you want to get out knowing who's the better man. And at the minute, it's on his even. So if he's got the same mindset as me, then, you know, we need to sort out. The only way we know how as fighters is to get back in there and train leather again.
Fraser, brilliant fight. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to ask you a question. How quick do you want to get back in there? How quick do you want to get? You know, that must have been so exhausting. No wonder you're on holiday. What's the schedule for the next few months? What's ahead of you?
Well, I'm going to be sensible. You know, like we all know that them fights do take a lot out of you, and it was hard on the body. But to be honest, I feel really well considering. I think it's testament to the way that I've looked after myself the last few months. I feel really good. I've recovered well. I'm going to sit down with Ben and the team next week. I'm sure we'll have a discussion about it. But you know, I don't want to be out of the ring for a long time. I like being active. I've had good advice off people. Listened to a few good interviews. Dominic was dead right when he said, you know, you've got to build on this and you've got to move forward from this. I don't want to sit around too long. Boxing and competing is what I enjoy doing. So this holiday is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I'm loving it. But yeah, no, I can't wait to get back to the gym and work on mistakes and move forward, because I know where I can go in this sport, but it's going to take a lot of dedication.
But we made the point earlier on, Fraser, that you know, it was quite a wait until this was made, and Ben made the point that was for specific reasons. And it turns out that was the right reason. Lee and Stourbridge is saying, Ben, on your show is spot on. A top promoter who cares for his fighters is not just about making a quick buck and then moving on. These guys further down the line can make serious money. And now you and Fabio Wardley, who's on Sky right now, quite interestingly, Fraser, looking a lot more marked up than you, I may say. But now you and Fabio can do it again further down the line and maybe make a lot more money than you might have envisaged. And Ben, that is exactly what you want for these guys, because it's them who are putting their necks in the line.
Oh, it's the toughest sport in the world. And I think even Fraser will agree. It's not just about ability, it's about conditioning, it's about being there before, it's about experience, it's about all these things. And that came, to be honest, I was absolutely amazed, and I don't mind saying that as his promoter, that in his 9th professional fight, he was able to deal with all the things that he had to deal with in that fight. The knockdown, how he dealt with that, the point deduction that I didn't feel was a point deduction, how he dealt with that mentally. He goes into those final rounds and finds the second win. How he deals with a guy that just keeps coming back and keeps throwing bombs. And so, given the experience, it is an incredible feat, and there's not many people in their 9th professional fight that could do that. But as you say, Jim, it's worked out extremely well. And what Fraser did on Sunday night has catapulted his career, and is going to make him a huge amount of money for the rest of it. And I think, and I'm here thinking, thank God we stuck to what we knew, and we trusted ourselves, and it's worked out very well.
Fraser, you want promoters like Ben and Hearn and the rest to put any kind of personal animosity, if you like. There's competitiveness, of course there is. They're in the same business, and one wants to outdo the other. But you see that for what it is. You want some grown-up talking between promoters to let you guys do your thing, right?
Oh, of course. You know, I think the sense does often come from the promoters, because as fighters, I need to say for myself a lot of the time, because if you ask me, Jim, and I'm sure a lot of fighters, I'll fight anyone on the planet, any heavyweight. I don't fear anyone else with 2 arms and 2 legs, and that's probably naivety. But you know, I think the promoters now. We've seen it happening in recent times. You know, people working together, and he's putting great shows together, and he's giving great opportunities more than that to people like myself, that are just lads that went to the gym, you know, to try and make something of themselves, and slowly but surely we're getting there.
Yeah, listen, it's an interesting conversation listening to you, Fraser Clark, talking about, you know, the wanting to get back in there. You're on holiday, you want to have that rest, you want to get back in there, get the ball rolling straight away. Again, we were speaking to you earlier in the show, Ben, and you were saying, listen, I think that was taxing on both guys, and it may be later on in the year, if not early next year, that we could get that rematch. But listening to Fraser, actually, it could come sooner rather than later.
Look, I think Fraser's fresher than Fabio. I do think that, but he's still taken a huge amount of you know, punishment, but you know, grueling 12 rounds. But I think we've spoken since. This is now about building on it. For me, he's seen a percentage of what he can be, and that's what's exciting with Fraser. You know, he's so early on. He'll build on this. He'll get fitter. He'll get stronger. He'll get more confident. He's got that experience now, and he'll want to get out very soon.
And he's got a fan base growing there, based on what you've seen.
Huge amount of respect. Huge amount of respect.
And now, Mr. Fraser Clark, you can reap the rewards like you're doing right now, sitting in the sunshine in Spain. What's the plan for the rest of the day? I mean, if I was sitting where you are right now, I feel like a beetroot, mate. I need to borrow your Factor 50.
No, we're just in a restaurant at the minute. I've got the kids with me, so we're going down the beach and have a play in a minute. And the reason Ben don't want me out so quick is because he knows I'm coming for a few quid now, so he don't want me out too often. He don't want me out too often anymore. But yeah, no, I'm just going to chill out and enjoy this time with the family because, like I say, you know, this was my first real training camp, and unfortunately, your family get the back burner for a good 10-12 weeks. So it's time to now just spend some time with them. Enjoy them. I'm getting the looks from the missus now. You know, this is the last call to go. Yeah, we're going to enjoy ourselves.
Well done, Fraser.
Well deserved, mate. Well deserved.
Listen, Fraser, Ben's with us for the next couple of minutes. Text him and tell him what you want. We'll see the look in his face. Thanks ever so much. It's 1:45.
White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Order online for free delivery at selcobw.com.
If self-expression and innovation excite in equal measure, let's make it real. Introducing the new all-electric BMW iX2 with striking design inside and out, and a BMW curved display that lets you stream movies and play video games whilst parked up. Search Stratstone Hull BMW to book a test drive. Non-conformists, please form a disorderly queue. Features require a BMW digital premium subscription. App costs may apply. Details on our website. Test drive subject to status and availability.
White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Get stacks of stock and hundreds of big-name trade brands at selcobw.com. We've got it.
Investing with AJ Bell feels so good, you'll just want to ring that bell anywhere, anytime. In the office, in the pub, on the bus, on a ship, on a train, in the rain, in the gym, in the library, at a wedding, at a librarian's wedding. You can even ring it in space. Underwater. In a sawmill! Or just a good old-fashioned cowbell. Yes, that's the sweet sound of investing with AJ Bell. AJ Bell, feel good investing. The value of investments can go down as well as up.
There's a place they call the home of home inspiration, where a family of 4 can feast for £15, where free workshops bring kids' imaginations to life. And some of your favorite products now have even lower prices. Some say this place can be found at the end of a rainbow. We say it can be found at IKEA. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
DI shy people, it's time to go cordless. Lidl has hedge trimmers for $29.99 and pruners and pressure washers for $39.99 and their rechargeable battery bags from $14.99. Turn DI shy into DIY. Parkside Tools. You've got this. Now exclusively at Lidl. Subject to availability. Selected stores. GB only. We always back an arse in the Grand National.
You just can't beat it. That's the one everyone wants to win.
I love the National, but absolutely zero strategy behind who I choose.
But each way, man, I'll pick someone further downfield.
To be honest, my favourite, me. I always pick the favourite. I back the outsider.
Whatever colour top they're wearing, that's me.
However you pick your Grand National horse, bet Fred.
They're off.
Love the National,
Bet Fred.
18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Travis Perkins have got tons of perks. Travis Perks, to help you with your landscaping jobs. Take Travis Perk number 24. Save 15% on their entire gardens and driveways range. Online only with code SPRING15. So you can spring into action and see what I did there.
Yes.
And Travis Perk number 11. A massive range of hire kit to put you on the right garden path. Garden path.
We'll cut that out.
Find more Travis Perks at travisperkins.co.uk. Terms apply.
Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent on TalkSport Drive with Motorpoint. Destination sports conversation fueled by unfiltered opinion with quality guests as standard and a couple of motor mouths. Something's not right, is it?
That's rubbish.
It's the Daily Radio road trip that takes you to the farthest corners of the nation's football landscape.
I'm just going to be flat, chilling out.
You have you up with my favourite so far, mate. Have a wonderful afternoon. TalkSport Drive this afternoon from 4 on TalkSport with Motorpoint. There's no car like a Motorpoint car.
To explore traffic and travel with My Dear, driving down the cost of cooling and heating. Accelerate your My Dear journey with free training at one of our in-stadium MyPro academies. MyDearUK.co.uk.
In Surrey, the anti-clockwise M25 remains closed for accident investigation work. That's from junction 6 at Godstone to junction 5 for the M26. That's left a solid queue back to the M23 at junction 7.
In Bedfordshire, the northbound M1 has a lane closed for emergency repairs. That's between junction 11A for Dunstable to junction 12 for Flitwick. And in Kent, the eastbound M2 has a lane blocked by a broken down lorry. That's at junction 5 for the Stockbury roundabout. I'm Julian Brett.
From Deutschland. Unbelievable. 51 games, 24 nations, 1 glittering goal. Oh, yes! UEFA Euro 2024 Germany, coming soon to TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
We shall finish off our hour of boxing, and it's been quite an hour. Thanks to Fraser Clark for joining us there from sunny Spain. Dana McAntony has been with me since the word go this morning. Dana, the message is still coming in for you. Jordan's going to love reading some of these. It's Dana McAntony's time now with Jim White. Get him on there. I tell you what, I'm going to really push that to the big man over, who's also in Spain at the moment. I didn't see him lurking behind Fraser Clark on the YouTube footage there. Spencer Oliver's alongside Ben Shalom, top boxing promoter. Ben, a lot of people coming in, again, still praising you for the show you put on right here in London, of course, in the O2 on Sunday night. Part of that was the showman but brilliant boxer. You love this guy, do you not? Ben Whittaker, who did ever so well.
He's
won again,
to
and Dana entertained again
I thought
in the
the
process.
commentators were a bit adamant. Do you know what I mean? During
Well,
the fight.
to be fair, he did give it to the commentators. He did give it to them.
I like that about him.
Absolutely.
I love a fighter like that who you want to put on his back, but you want him to win. It's a bit like back in the day.
It's the pantomime villain, isn't
Listen, where did you get him from, by the way?
We just dug him up.
How?
No.
Give us a little bit of insight.
Listen, he was an absolutely phenomenal amateur.
Oh, absolutely.
Phenomenal.
But who brought him to you?
I think he won an Olympic silver medal, and every promoter in the world wanted him.
Right.
We were able to behave.
It goes on in every sport.
No,
I think
what's great with Ben, he's a bit of a visionary. He always had, most fighters is, what can you give me now, what can you give me now, what can you give me now? We sat down and said, let's make you the face of the sport. Let's create ring walks. Let's think about the vision. Let's think about the brands you want to be associated with. Let's think about how you want to fight. Let's take this journey, and we need another superstar in boxing. If you look at Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, in 18 months, 2 years, they might not be fighting. And we're going to be sat here in British boxing, and world boxing, looking at who's the star that's going to get us on the front pages and the back pages. Ben Whittaker is that star.
Yeah.
We had that vision from the start. We aligned on that. We're building them on the biggest platforms we possibly can with Sky Sports and NBC. And you asked about why did we go on the Sunday? Well, 4 million people coming in straight into Ben Whittaker is a huge launch pad for him, and that's the focus. But it's early days, and what's great is people have seen 5-10% of what we've seen. This guy's not just a showman, but he is going right.
You get that impression, Ben. He showboated his way to another win, this time against Leon Willings. I like what you said as well, Dara, about Ben. I mean, he's an absolute entertainer. And Jess, you're right, because before this fight, he picked a bit of a verbal fight with the commentary team at Sky with Andy Clark. Have a listen.
What next? Probably you. With the commentary, you always sound disrespectful, so it's probably you. But
I'd say to be that.
On that though, yeah, the mic, because on he's that the person though, I keep saying disrespectful.
Well, I mean, when you stand in front of your opponent and you slap him on the top of the head with the inside,
That's skill.
That is disrespectful.
That's skill.
It is disrespectful though.
Well, have you boxed before?
No, I haven't.
Well, there you go.
I haven't, but I think
I think it's disrespectful for you when I'm watching a fight back. Ben disrespectful. You're painting that picture as me disrespectful when it's an art, when it's a skill. So I think you need to sort your commentary skills out.
I'm a big fan of your ability, a big fan of your ability, but you know, I'm there to give an opinion.
Yeah, that's your opinion.
I mean, Andy's not wrong in pushing him and asking him.
Here comes Richard.
You know, what we get with you is a whole bunch of showboating, but by God you can box. But Andy, it would be remiss of Andy not to bring up the showboating aspect of it.
Yeah, but for me, look, listen, we live in a world of entertainment. The generations have changed. People want to see it. It's all about showmanship, you know, so doing that. And Ben Whittaker was right in what he said as he goes, listen, I do that for a reason. I spoke to him about this through the week and said to him, look, the showboating's great. And, you know, I know you can continue doing that at a level, you know, like in the Nassim Havits and stuff like that, where you can get away with it because that is part of your style.
Does Sky not want the ratings?
But also, like, what he does that, like, all that showboating, tapping on the head, you know, it's not disrespectful. He knows what he's doing. Boxing is all about mindset, and, you know, that they've got a game plan when they go in there. He's breaking that mindset, breaking that game plan, winding his opponent up, then they've lost it, boom. They've basically fallen into the trap. That's what he does, but that is entertaining, man. Like, I don't understand
why
people
will tune in to watch him get put on his back.
Love or
for
hate
that very reason.
No, it's like a Marmite situation.
Will he do it when he fights for a world title?
I don't think that's the point. I think the point is a few issues because
he splits opinion.
No, I think the commentators are maybe saying it's disrespectful. Listen, he's the most respectful human being / boxer that we work with. I went into his dressing room on the Saturday night. One of his old opponents is in there. Khalid Gradia, who fought him in his last fight, has got hundreds of thousands of followers now. He's so grateful for the experience. They stay in touch. He's the only boxer after every fight that I see spend so much time with their opponent and almost overcompensates. But he's there to bring in audiences. Boxing, sometimes people find, isn't accessible, isn't easy to understand, doesn't cross over, doesn't get new audiences involved. He puts the weight on his shoulders to say, I'm going to bring new eyeballs into the sport, and I think people need to try and recognise what a pleasure and what a gift it is to British boxing to have someone like that that's going to entertain fans, that's going to
he chooses to do it, Ben. I mean, he's not doing us all a favour.
They need to sit back and enjoy it.
He's doing the sport. For me, he's doing the sport. He's doing the sport credit, and the British board and the traditional guys, and I get why they don't like it and this and that. But believe me, the interest in Clark Wardley on Sunday night benefited by having Ben Whittaker on the card, and so everyone gets a benefit from it, and it's going to continue, and it's going to do things that continue to. But all the greats are slightly mad. All the greats are slightly.
Why did Conor McGregor make so much money?
Yeah.
Why did he make so much money? Because he brought entertainment to that sport. Like, yes, he was phenomenally good, and he was world class, and you have to back that up, and he's going to have to back all that up to swing fighter.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, that's what brings
them on. That's what they feed off. They feed off that. They put that pressure on their shoulders because they feed off it.
Yep.
Look, I think people also forget he's had 7 fights. He's still a prospect.
Yeah.
He's still coming up. He's still learning his craft. But the noise he's creating after 7 fights is like nothing anyone's ever seen. Even the Sky guys.
Yeah.
They've never seen a trajectory like that. They've been on that Anthony Joshua journey. They've been on all sorts of journey. Have they ever seen someone flying after so few fights? No, and that's a credit to him.
So what might be next for him, Ben? What's next for you? What have you got for us?
We've got an announcement next week on his next fight. The key is activity. I couldn't believe we had a really frustrating first 18 months where he had a couple of niggles overrunning from the amateurs and it kept him out of the ring and it was stop and start. He's fought December the 10th now. He's fought February the 3rd. He's fought March the 31st. He's absolutely flying, and you can see the noise he's creating. He'll be out in June, and we'll announce his next fight next week.
Okay, you're going to be busy. Ben, thank you. I know you are busy, mate. Giving us an hour today is terrific. Thank you. So, as Fraser Clark told you what he wants next for work, has he texted you?
Rolex.
He's not, but
not yet.
He's not yet.
Ben, fantastic. Spencer, I thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good seeing you at the awards night the other night.
Yeah, it was great being there, Jim. Great being there.
Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Did you win that award?
Shame I never went up to collect it. You know, that's all.
No. We held you back. We blanked you. Darren McAnthony, more from you tomorrow at 10. You be there.
I will see you all, hear you all.
Work on up to 1.
White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco Builders Warehouse. Order online for free delivery at selcobw.com. White and Jordan on TalkSport with Selco. Register for your trade card online at selcobw.com or in one of our branches.
There are all sorts of fans who make racing what it is. The armchair expert who knows it all, right down to what the horse had for breakfast. The country gents head to toe in tweed, and the ladies with their extravagant hats. The banana-suited stag-do lads, and the nan who just backed the horse because it has a funny name. Whatever kind of racing fan you are, don't miss the coral
daily download every morning from 6 on the Superstar Breakfast on TalkSport with Coral. We're here for it. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Punch ahead when you go to Aldi. The prices are falling. In store now this week's Super 6 from as little as 69p each. Sugar snap peas, baby corn, seasonal pears and British chestnut mushrooms. Plus 5-pack of oranges just 89p and 6-pack of Golden Delicious apples only 99p. Cha-ching! So chop chop, get down to Aldi. Products may vary by region, subject to availability.
There's a place they call the home of home inspiration, where a family of 4 can feast for £15. Where free workshops bring kids' imaginations to life. And some of your favorite products now have even lower prices. Some say this place can be found at the end of a rainbow. We say it can be found at IKEA. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
You're looking sharp.
Righty here. I'm just giving the new Gillette Labs razor a go, and it's smooth. 5 long-lasting blades, and it's got a flex disc that adapts to my gorgeous face. Done in no time, then it goes back on its magnetic stand for a finish almost as good as one of mine. And if you don't agree it's the ultimate shave, get your money back. +18, retain receipt, terms and conditions apply.
At B&Q and TradePoint, get 3 for 2 on interior paint and paint mixing, and 4 for 3 on laminate and luxury vinyl click flooring. That's a big spring refresh for less. Shop in-store or online. You can do it when you're B&Q it. Exclusions apply, ends 8th of April, see DIY.com.
Make sure you're all set for kick-off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. It's TalkSport's Premier Weeknight Fan Forum featuring your views and the opinions of TalkSport's top team of passionate pundits.
That's a right-footed and scores!
Plus, get the latest form and odds before the whistle blows direct from Ladbrokes. And hear live commentaries of selected matches throughout the season. Kick-off, weeknights from 7 on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Online, on your smart speaker, on DAB, on the app, and on the money.
Over 50 years of live football across England.
This is TalkSport.
Talk Sport.
With Lookers. Here, wherever and whenever you need us. Visit us in-store or online at lookers.co.uk.
Thanks to Jim and Darren for the last 3 hours. Coming up next, it's me, Andy. No, it's him, Andy Jacobs, and me, Paul Hawks. I've never done that before in about 20-odd years. Anyway, it's the first time for everything. We've got plenty of football to talk about, 2 more Premier League games tonight. Andy's going to his second Premier League game in 24 hours. We'll be chatting about that. We're getting a United angle on it as well. Liverpool, Sheffield United, we're going to Blades take on that trip to Anfield this evening. Savannah Marshall joins us in the studio, moving from the world of boxing to MMA and potentially another fight with nemesis Clarissa Shields. We'll look at the prospect of that. If you love Drive to Survive, then you'll know Gunther Steiner, the former team principal of Hassie, joins us this afternoon as well. Ian Stone, Arsenal supporting comedian, pops in with a smile on his face, I'm sure. And with Charlie on break, Max Rushton steps into the breach. He hasn't played the birthday sprint for a long time. There will be a bit of rust, there's bound to be. How will he fare? You'll find out at 3:30. But before all of that, breaking news. Anyway, Ben Fletcher has the sports headlines now.
Good afternoon. The question marks surrounding Erik ten Hag are helping nobody at Old Trafford. That's the view of 4-time Premier League winning former United coach Rene Meulensteen.
The key is clarity. There's no other word than that. Even if Sir Jim Ratcliffe or any other of us think that Erik ten Hag is not the guy, then they have to at some point make that very, very clear and make it very clear what direction they're going to take. If they think Erik ten Hag is the man, they need to make that clear as well.
United go to Chelsea tonight. Their manager's no stranger to a bit of pressure, but Poch reckons the mood music from the boardroom is still sweet.
Nothing to say about that, because they are entitled to talk in the way that they want. That is why they are the owner of the club. What only I can say is thank you to show the trust and the support. That is the most important. Because the player needs the support from our bosses.
You can hear live and exclusive commentary from Stamford Bridge over on TalkSport 2. Here on TalkSport, it's Liverpool v Sheffield United. And former Red Ray Houghton has told TalkSport it's make or break time for his old club.
after tonight, Liverpool's next 5 league games, 4 are away, down to Man United on Sunday, you know. So I think to come through that, then obviously that will put them in the favourite position. They'll be coming up in tonight's game against Sheffield United, believe it. If they play well enough, they'll win it.
And if you're off to the races this weekend, check your meetings still on before you travel. The wet spell's already seen today's card at Warwick cooled off, with Storm Kathleen bringing track inspections up and down the country over the coming days.
Talk Sport News.
The Prime Minister is facing mounting pressure to suspend arms sales to Israel, and the NHS can't keep up with ADHD and autism assessments. Waiting lists are up 5-fold since before the pandemic. Anna's got more at 30:30.
Talk Sport weather with QuickFit. With over 600 centres across the UK, most of which open 7 days a week, we're here for every journey. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
A mixed picture this afternoon with scattered showers and some sunshine, remaining cloudy in northern and central areas.
And 1053 medium wave on DAB, online and on your smart speaker. Paul Hawksley and Andy Jacobs on Talk Sport.
This is Paul Hawkesby and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on TalkSport. Where this afternoon? Please tell us, Andy, what's coming up?
Well, coming up over the next 3 hours, we'll look ahead to tonight's 2 big Premier League games. World champion boxer Sir Anna Marshall is here to tell us about her move into MMA. And from the world of F1, we're joined once again by former Haas team principal and Drive to Survive star Gunther Steiner.
That's right, Gunther Steiner joins us. We're also interested in when gifts go bad, and Arsenal supporting comedian Ian Stone makes a welcome return to the studio.
There's all this, plus we'll chat to the man who's devised a marathon with a built-in penalty shootout. Yeah. And the world's 5th best birthday spreader, ring rusty Max Rushton, comes off the bench to take you on, Paul.
It sure does. 5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Paul.
Well, you were at possibly the least entertaining game of the evening.
The most exciting thing, I took a photo of it, was the teenagers dressed virtually the same.
Yeah.
It's quite incredible. Both wearing the Rishi Sunak plain white £355 trainer.
Nice. Okay.
Very nice.
With the sort of dark goggles.
Yeah.
Was it raining heavily where you were or not?
No, not really. It was good to see Bruce there. We had a chat at half time. It was good. And some of the things that were exciting about last night.
What, seeing the moves? It was the most exciting thing. Wow, it was a bleak night.
Games of football, I was thinking about this afterwards, you just need that moment of magic to ignite them. The longer it goes without a goal, the more dull it gets.
Can you remember the worst game you ever saw?
That was one of them.
Really, was it?
It was a poor game, yeah.
I watched 5 minutes of highlights.
I think Southampton against Chelsea on Boxing Day was a 0-0. That was pretty grim, but, you know.
I wonder if it's worse if you haven't got any skin in the game. I had a good friend, Evertonian, and we went to a game once. I mentioned it before, but it was definitely the worst game I ever saw. And some of the listeners may remember it if they're not QPR fans. It was late 80s, I think, maybe early 90s. Everton QPR, and Roy Wegley hit the post after about a minute. And then nothing else happened till about the 70th minute when Mark Ward, the old Everton player, the ball was played into him and he did an air shot and fell over. And everything else is a complete blur. It's an absolute dog with fleas.
No, there's no jeopardy that's it.
Was it quite a terrible game?
It was interesting.
Do you want to share the worst game you ever saw? I mean, give us a bit of context. We'd love to know about it. But why? Why was it so... it really has to be very uneventful, doesn't it? And it's almost certainly going to be 0-0. Talksport.com, text 81089 tweet TSH and J 03717 223344.
The bloke and his son behind us, they were sort of a cross between coaching and commentary, and they kept referring, every time a Brentford player touched the ball, they named them.
Oh, right.
So, like, good play, Ivan's on, and all this sort of thing.
So it's like coaching. Did the bloke leave his technical area?
He did what he was doing from the stand.
Exactly.
It was quite amazing. Every player, and his son was sort of overly optimistic in expectation of what the player with the ball might do.
Yeah.
At one point, I think Janelt was pressed by about 2 or 3 Brighton players, and Tony was marked by at least 2 centre-halves, and he goes, shouts, Ivan's on, you think, well, he isn't, is he? He's just not on at all, whatever happens.
Possibly if you, if you Phil Foden is on, but anybody else maybe.
Great ball Collins and all this sort of thing, but anyway, they did tell me though about an incident I missed on Saturday at the Brentford, at the Manchester United game, where it was quite a large gentleman, I think, sitting, not necessarily my seat, but sitting in that area.
Yeah.
And it's quite hard at Brentford to get past the people who are standing there. You know, at half time and the end, they sort of stand up and you try to squeeze your way past. And this bloke was quite big.
Right, okay.
And he basically trapped this woman.
Oh no.
She was like wedged in.
It's like a disaster.
She had to call the stewards, I'm trapped.
Oh no. So what, he tried to push past her, but because of his girth?
He got stuck and she got stuck next to
You
the...
have to call the fire brigade.
Well, I think she... Somehow I think they
Did
wedged her out.
They had to grease them. Antoine greased them.
No idea.
Well,
I wish I'd been there, but it did sound very funny. But there you go.
Well, probably not for the two.
No, not that.
Oh, the humanity.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The Michael Burke voiceover on 999, you can get a bit of jeopardy.
I tell you what they do at Brentford, which is very nice. When you leave the game, you leave the stadium, they go, goodbye, thanks for coming, good night, good evening.
Well, the stewards.
Yeah,
our stewards do that.
They do that at Chelsea.
No, they do. They never used to in the new stadium.
Busy swearing to hear them.
in the new stadium, they say thanks for coming and all that. You know.
No, they don't. Well, I'll check tonight, but I don't think they do.
It'd be nice if they had a greeter to show you to your chair. You know, hello, Mr. It'd be lovely to see you. You want your usual seat? Well, it's a season ticket, really. They've got no choice. We've got your usual seat in view of the pitch. Oh, thank you very much.
He used to do that for a living, Di Llewellyn. I don't think he's with us anymore. But
Di Llewellyn, got the famous Playboy boyfriend of Princess Margaret.
He was a greeter of wedges.
That's a nice contemporary reference, You are Mr. Zeitgeist.
I certainly am.
Doing all the new material.
What I want to talk about
I was going to say, the City Villa. I watched the first half of Arsenal, which was that was enough of that because the job was done. Really.
Absolutely.
Realised that was a tough old night for Luton. And Ian Stone will chat more about that later. But I did watch City Villa, and pretty. Villa had their chances. They could have. They got it back to 2-2. There was a couple of opportunities in the same passage of play that could have changed it. But second half, City just stepped up. I mean, they are absolutely.
2-1 though. Villa had chances, didn't
they? I know, but they are absolutely. It was joyous to watch it. Some of the. I mean, I know there are people out there. There's 115 reasons why they find it a difficult watch. But I'm afraid in the moment, just watching that.
We'll talk about some of this later. There's the football, and then there's the politics and the money.
Watching that football is an absolute joy. If I was a City fan, and I was going every week in the moment, whatever may or may not happen down the road. What they get to witness week in, week out is, and that was with 3 or 4 big players missing. It was sensational stuff second half, and they did for Villa. And I was listening to Dance and Troy Deeney after the game, and they were chatting just towards the end. I mean, to the dog for a walk. There was no jeopardy of 4-1, but they were in good form. Troy and Dance were very good. And Dan's making the point. This was Villa. This was a team that was only 4 points behind them before they kicked off, and they just sort of brushed them aside in the second half.
Yeah, well, there's a big difference between the top 3 and everybody else.
Absolutely.
We know that.
We'll get Stan's take on that tomorrow. Stan Collymore, of course, who still felt at half-time they were in with a shout. And I suppose that they made it 2 each.
Yeah, they were.
It would have been right.
Nervy. I see that Rob McElhenney, the Hollywood actor who owns Wrexham, is making a provocative documentary series, according to the Times, about the enhanced games.
Yeah.
This is the event for Dope.
I kind of sensed that, from what you found out about him in Welcome to Wrexham, that it won't be a celebration of it. I imagine it will be a fairly nuanced take.
It sounds dreadful.
Yeah, I mean, the whole event sounds dreadful.
Oh, dreadful. Though I am looking forward to the Moose taking on Joey Chestnut in the Got the Munchies eating competition.
That's right. Okay. Well, we're getting a lot of worst games ever. We'll bring you some of those. Yes. Nobody in the South Stand welcomes you. This is at the Wall at Tottenham. This comes from Paul. He says, we just get, can I see your ticket? It's normally on the way out.
No, on the way out.
On the way out.
This is the way out.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, we don't have a greeter, but we have someone to see us on our way. Yeah.
I don't tell you what we didn't mention from last night. The one moment that was really quite encouraging. Andy Madley overruling Michael Oliver.
Yeah.
Although did he overrule him? Or, we don't really know. There seems to be
we always turn to Mr. VAR from ESPN. That's a lot of initials. Dale Johnson. And Dale immediately said, well done, Andy Madley.
Hadley Madley.
That's what they call it. His real name's Hadley. He's not an Andy, he's Hadley. The parents thought they'd have a laugh. They had Bobby and they had Hadley. But he calls himself Andrew's his middle name. So now we know. Sorry, Andy, the truth's out. Sorry, Andy, the truth's out. So anyway, Andy Manley, he went to the screen, and although it's been seen as a kick in the teeth to Michael Oliver because he Oliver. Exactly. What actually happened was Michael Oliver, according to Darryl, I guess, got this from Stockley Park fairly quickly, was given the options. They said, there's the initial pull of the shirt. It's up for you to decide whether you think that is a penalty.
Why is he getting involved if he's not sure? Yeah, I do think that's a, I'm glad Manley overall.
Well, no, but
surely you call the ref to the screen
because the second foul on Dunk is a mistake because it should be a penalty. So he has to highlight the fact that he has missed a penalty because it's a clear and obvious error. So he has to highlight that, but he's saying to him, but you may feel there was a Dunk shirt formed this at first, and if that's the case, it's up to you. So, and that's what he does because he gives a free kick the other way. But it was good. I think Darryl saying it's only really happened in about 2021, and that was Andy Manley as well, apparently. So here we are. Well done, Ian. We want more of that. We want more press going to the screen and saying, no, I'm going to stick with my original decision.
That's what it should be.
So, worst game you ever saw. The other thing was our producer Jamie there has alerted us to a little story from Barcelona, which is a bit weird and wonderful. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, so apparently after their win against Atletico, in the players were given MacBooks. The Barcelona players were given MacBooks as a reward.
And they're allowed to do that?
Well, just a little gift from the club.
I suppose
for a win. I don't know the rules around the league. But it's backfired because only the players received the gift and the coaching staff are now feeling disappointed by the whole thing. They feel let down.
And these blokes earn about 70 to 100 to 300 grand. They can afford their own MacBook. They don't need a MacBook.
I mean, they've obviously got some sort of deal with Mac or the local,
it's paying off on here.
Apple shop. Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll take one if you get. They're obviously Barcelona want to.
I've got one. I can recommend.
Oh, okay. But do you need a new one?
I don't.
Oh, fair enough. But the point I'm making is when gifts go bad, because it's caused unrest in the dressing room. What seemed on the face of it a lovely gift has backfired. So we're looking at when gifts go bad. If you've been gifted or indeed sent a gift to somebody and maybe it was misconstrued, maybe someone found a hidden message in it. I don't know, but when gifts go bad, unsuitable, hidden message, whatever it was, plus the worst game you ever saw. 03717 23334 talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH&J. Luke done a fairly thankless task going to Arsenal last night. Tonight is Sheffield United's turn. They go to Liverpool. It's exclusively live on TalkSport. Sam Matterface and Mickey Gray will be your commentary team with Hugh Rosencroft, your host for the evening. So what a Blades make of that. We'll talk to Johnny Gaskell from the Shore Review podcast. It's looking almost certain that they're done for, really. You can't really plot a way out of that at the moment. So how's he feeling about life this stage of the season and a trip to Anfield? We'll do that. We're going to talk Manchester United, Chelsea. Savannah Marshall's here. Gordon Steiner will join us. Ian Stone as well. So lots to come between now and 4. We're here with Toolstation and the new Toolstation Club. Join the brand new loyalty program. Get 5% off every order for a month. 18 plus. T's and C's.
Hawksby and Baker on TalkSport with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right.
First times. Remember those? Like the thrill of being chased by waves for the first time. Now imagine the thrill of skimming through the fjords on a high-speed rib on a Saga ocean cruise. Or even the joy you'll feel with our Love It First Time guarantee. If you don't love all the incredible first times on your first Saga ocean cruise, we'll give you your money back. 2025 season now on sale. Search Saga Cruises. Experience is everything. Port must be made in first 72 hours or 48 hours of cruises 7 nights or less. Full terms apply. Over 50 only.
Hawksby and Baker on TalkSport with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right.
When Magnus started out as a carpenter, he used a manual saw. First he made tiny chairs, then dog kennels, and then a duplex treehouse. But when Magnus was asked to build a suspension bridge, he had to leave his manual saw behind and embrace something better suited for the job. Manual saws, they're kind of like the bank account you use for your business. Just because they were right once doesn't mean they'll be right forever. Maybe it's time to switch with the current account switch service.
Uno is now available in McDonald's Happy Meal. So let's see who can shout Uno first.
Bring it on.
Yes, yes. Ooh, no, the wild card. Right, yes, back in the game. Yes. Ooh, no, draw one card.
Uno. Better luck next time.
Have fun with your Uno cards. Does that one count?
Nope.
Oh, some fun, some food. It's all inside this Happy Meal. This is some debate from 11 a.m. Includes one selected football toy. Uno range comprises toys and box of stuff.
Get ready now. It's me, Catherine Ryan, here to spill the tea on Now's latest shows and movies, like Oppenheimer, an influential figure who'll go down in history. Marion George, a powerful woman who's royally determined to get her way. And Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
A clever, independent gal fighting the patriarchy. Remind you of anyone? Catherine Ryan. Now, so much to love. Head to nowtv.com.
18 plus, now account required. Membership sold separately. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Terms apply. Some content coming soon.
Play Set for Life, and you could. £10,000 every month for 30 years. Set for Life. Play now on the National Lottery app. Terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Mind your head when you go to Aldi. The prices are falling. In store now this week's Super 6. From as little as 69p each. Sugar snap peas, baby corn, seasonal bears and British chestnut mushrooms. Plus 5-pack of oranges just 89p and 6-pack of Golden Delicious apples only 99p. Cha-ching! So chop chop, get down to Aldi. Products may vary by region, subject to availability.
Talk Sport, traffic and travel with My Dear, driving down the cost. Heating, My Pro Partners, or when delivering 10-year warranties, reroute to mydearuk.co.uk.
I'm sorry, the M25 remains closed anti-clockwise after a collision. It's shut from Godstone at junction 6, along to Seven Oaks at junction 5. In Bedfordshire, the M1 northbound is partly blocked for repairs between junction 11A at Dunstable and junction 12 at Flitwick. And in Berkshire, delays on the M4 as you head through the roadworks there between junction 13 at Newbury and junction 14 for Hungerford. I'm Adam Moore.
The goals are calling.
This Saturday, exclusive kick-by-kick commentary of Aston Villa versus Brentford.
Coverage from 2:30, kick-off 3 p.m. on Talk Sport 2.
Salah's there, and Liverpool lead. They have turned it around quite magnificently.
If we all together enjoy this, we have a chance. If we don't, we still have a chance. It's just really much more difficult.
It's Darwin Núñez who has scored in the 9th minute of stoppage time.
We know that we want to go out with a big parade. We want a big send-off for him. It's also our last season with him as well.
Oh, they're pulling it back. And Cam Archer has scored for Sheffield United.
We have to show so many more qualities that I expect, and most importantly, our supporters expect.
It's crunch time. The only place to be is Talk Sport.
Let's bring you live commentary tonight on Talk Sport of Liverpool versus Sheffield United. And every point is a precious one for Blades at the moment, but when you're 3-1 up and you give up 2 goals late on, it's going to feel like a defeat, really. That's what happened against Fulham, of course, at the weekend. So going into this, who knows what the mood will be like amongst the players and the manager. Let's find out how the fans are feeling. Johnny Gascoigne is from the Shoreham View Sheffield United podcast. Good afternoon, Johnny.
Afternoon, how you doing, lads?
Not so bad. That was a blow, wasn't it, really, as I said. They're just, it must have been on the floor. Lord knows how you were feeling in the stadium.
It sums up our season, really, doesn't it? We go 4-1 up and end up drawing 3-3.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very true.
It's been an hard one, it's been a difficult one. I think that we're showing some qualities now, maybe a bit too late. I think we all have to admit it might be a bit too late. That when we get things right, we can have a work teams But obviously we've got a weighted squad with very limited Premier League quality. Whether that's because we lost players in pre-season or whether it's just because players are injured, we make subs and it weakens the team. They're not subs that want to be made. So yeah, even at 3-1 up, you feel on edge all the time as a Sheffield United fan at the minute.
Yeah, it's hard to make a case for anything tonight, isn't it? And obviously, the longer the game goes without a goal, then the more confident the team will get. But you feel that if Liverpool score early, then it's going to be a long night.
Definitely. I mean, let's not forget that we once beat Man U at Old Trafford and Ollie Burke and Keane Bryan scored, so nothing's impossible. But I think with the way Liverpool are on, the season thereafter, they want to go for that title, the second Premier League title. They're going to be out for blood. It's up to us to deal with that pressure, which we're not very good at doing at the minute, unfortunately. But the longer we can keep it, and maybe try and nick a point maybe later on, that's I think the best we can hope for. But I'd love to be proved wrong.
I mean, it's great to be going to places like Anfield and having a big night out. I mean, overall, have you been disappointed? Are you disappointed with the board? Are you disappointed with the managers this season? I mean, if you're pointing the finger of blame at what's happened, if you do, where's it pointing?
It all starts at the top level. I think ever since Prince Abdullah took full control of the club after the court case, it's all been a bit of a backward step from there, really. He took full control. We had one good game, then we had COVID. Can't blame him for COVID, obviously. And then everything's gone backwards since then. Paul Eckingbottom, I wasn't excited by the football he played even when we went up last season. But he took us up, did a good job. Brought us into the Premier League, lost 2 key players, can't blame him for that. But then the way he lined up and the way he approached games, it was just negative, really. Very, very poor man management, I think. Chris Wilder came in, gave us a bit of hope. But I think people expecting Chris Wilder to come in this season and work miracles was a pipe dream too far. Look at the squad he's got to work with. He didn't build this team. People say, well, it's his squad from before. It's really not. A lot of those players there, it's only really the old guard that aren't playing much that were his players to begin with. He needs time to rebuild the squad next season. I can't blame Chris. A lot of fans saying, the substitutions he's making don't make sense. They're in 4 substitutions. There's not a lot more he can do. So Chris Wilder doesn't get judged for me until next season. But before that, it stands a long time with Paul Eckingbottom for his Premier League approach and the board.
We have just changing the subject slightly because we're asking people about the worst game they've ever been to, and one of the listeners has said you may have been there. This was Manchester United against Sheffield United, Old Trafford 2016. Nothing for 90 minutes. Then I heard a noise. The bloke behind me was snoring. Do you remember that game?
I do remember that game.
Rooney penalty last minute, I think he says.
It does ring a bell. Yeah, is it the FA Cup game?
Yes, that's
right. Nigel Atkins, yeah.
Yeah, 2016 at Old Trafford. Yeah, he says definitely the worst game he ever saw, which is
that's good.
Which is saying something. So
I can top him. I can quite easily top him. Port Vale Boxing Day. 3-0 down before half time, I think we were snowed. It took us 8 hours to get home.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Are you? So look, I mean, you've got a couple of games in hand still. So technically you can get out of trouble, but realistically, do you feel mentally you're down?
It's an hard question because there's a romantic side to those things. Until that R's next to his name, there's every chance we can pull it off. There is a lot of caveats to that. I do think Nottingham Forest have got away with it a little bit. I do think they should have had the same amount of points taken off them as Everton. Burnley fans hate me, but I'm speaking truth here. I think with the way we played football last season, we were better than Burnley, despite that gap with a lot of injuries in the middle. I think that Burnley get away with it for how bad they are this season. I think that's because Vincent Kompany's in charge. I do think that they're every bit as bad as us, and I can see them finishing bottom. I think that'd be our ultimate goal, is to finish them.
To catch them.
Burnley played quite well.
We saw
it's hard to judge them against Chelsea, but I thought they played quite well.
We said yesterday, though, Johnny, they're a little bit like you. They're starting to, play a little bit better, but it's too late.
Yeah. The thing with Burnley is they've got it in them to have a good game. But if you look at us, we have it in this moment. Look at that Man City game early in the season where they snatched the win later on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's apples and oranges from having one good game against a team to them doing it consistently, and we've both shown that we can't do it consistently. And that's the biggest problem, is consistency at this level. When we were last here, even in the COVID season where we were woeful, the gulf between like the top half and the bottom half was big. But now there's a gulf in like every 4 teams. Yeah. So as you go up the table, it gets a bigger and bigger gulf. What irritates me is players moaning about like fitness and this, that, and the other. They want to come and play for Sheffield United. we've got players running on fumes every game.
I mean, you're right, the mini leagues are getting minier by the season. That is very true. Well, enjoy the game tonight as you can, as much as you can, Johnny, and we'll catch up with you, I'm sure, before the end of the season. Thanks very much.
Cheers, take care, lads.
Billy Gascoigne there from the Shoreham View Sheffield United podcast. That game's went live on TalkSport, over on TalkSport 2. The game we'll be talking about next, Chelsea versus Manchester United. You're off to that one?
I am, but I was just thinking today's
news. Adrian Durham, you've got a game of the night.
I am. Today's news about a possible luxury tax, a possible sort of a replacement for the system we've got now, would benefit all these teams.
Well, Mike Keegan from the Mail, that's a story is broken in the last hour or so. We are going to chat to Mike and find out more about this. They are considering the next Premier League meeting. They're going to be discussing a luxury tax, which Andy has talked about. They use it in the NBA and in Major League Baseball as well.
Yeah.
So Mike will explain how it works and some of the other things, because they're a bit uncomfortable about points deductions and the way it's working and the points of the season where it's happening and how it's skewing the league. We had Andros Townsend bemoaning it as a player the other day. So, yeah, Mike Keegan will tell us more about some of the plans that are afoot in the Premier League to maybe change things up. And we'll be chatting to him. So, as we said, don't forget, Sheffield United, Liverpool, Sheffield United here on TalkSport, TalkSport 2, Chelsea, Manchester United. We'll discuss that next.
Hawksby and Baker on TalkSport with Toolstation. Conquer the entire job faster and easier with click and collect to over 550 stores nationwide for a job done right. Hawksby and Baker on TalkSport with Toolstation. Get everything you need to conquer the whole job with free delivery 7 days a week on orders over £25 for a job done right.
So many small cars to choose from. This one looks like that one, which looks like, the new Suzuki Swift. This is the one.
Yep, standard reaction to the new Suzuki Swift, which comes with serious style, a choice of cool colours, and loads of tech as standard. Oh, and it's available with 0% APR for 2 years. Search Suzuki Swift event now to register for your local dealer launch and get set to feel good different. Participating dealers only. Suzuki Financial Services Limited. T's and C's apply. See cars.suzuki.co.uk/offers.
Mind your head when you go to Aldi. The prices are falling. In store now this week's Super 6. From as little as 69p each. Sugar Snap Peas, baby corn, seasonal bears and British chestnut mushrooms. Plus a 5-pack of oranges just 89p and 6-pack of golden delicious apples only 99p. Cha-ching! So chop chop, get down to Aldi. Products may vary by region, subject to availability.
Uno is now available in McDonald's Happy Meal. So let's see who can shout Uno first.
Bring it on.
Yes, yes, ooh, no, a wild card. Right, yes, back in the game. Yes, ooh, no, draw 1 card.
Uno. Better luck next time.
Have fun with your Uno cards. Does that one count?
Nope.
Oh, some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until 7th of May from 11 AM. Includes one selected book or toy. Uno range comprises toys only, while stocks last.
Get ready now. It's me, Catherine Ryan, here to spill the tea on Now's latest shows and movies, like Oppenheimer, an influential figure who'll go down in history. Marion George, a powerful woman who's royally determined to get her way. And Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
A clever, independent gal fighting the patriarchy. Remind you of anyone? Catherine Ryan. Now, so much to love. Head to nowtv.com.
18 plus, now account required. Membership sold separately. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Terms apply. Some content coming soon.
With car insurance from LV, I know I'll have peace of mind because their payouts are 99% of claims. Nice one. And if I'm hit by an uninsured driver, I won't lose my no-claim discount because insurance is simple when it's me and LV. No wonder we're rated excellent on Trustpilot. Get your quote today at lv.com. 99% of direct motor claims paid February 2023 to January 2024. Uninsured driver promise is non-fault accident only. Other vehicle and driver details required.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. That's why they got me, Chris Rock, to tell you about BetMGM's golden offers. Sign up to BetMGM, bet £10, and get £40 in free bets. We're making every game an occasion. Get ready for the golden era in sports betting. BetMGM. It's showtime.
New customers only. Wagering requirements and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. Great games of live football this April on Talk Sport. Talk Sport News.
Yes, we'll talk a bit of Chelsea, Manchester United next. Saying Troy on fine form last night on his co-commentary with Dance for the City Villa game. He's alongside Darren Bent this afternoon on Drive from 4 o'clock. But Anna Geary has the news headlines.
The UK's biggest health charity is warning the NHS can't meet an unprecedented demand for autism assessments and ADHD treatments. NHS data shows a record 172,000 patients waiting for a formal autism diagnosis at the end of 2023. Thea Stein is the chief executive of the Nuffield Trust. She says wider society needs to take pressure off the National Health Service.
There's an awful lot that we can do in schools, we can do in families, support that young person that isn't dependent on getting that diagnosis.
The tube strike in London next Monday and on Saturday the 4th of May is off, but parts of the country will still have no trains tomorrow because of industrial action by drivers in their row over pay. Meanwhile, air passengers face another year of limits on liquids in their carry-on luggage at UK airports. The government's extended the deadline for sites to get new scanners. It follows supply chain issues and expensive work to install them. And the votes are in. A poll by BAFTAs revealed the most iconic video game character of all time is Lara Croft. But not everyone's happy about it. These people told TalkSport who they think should have won.
It's going to be so cheesy. I just want to say Mario. I'm going to go with Link from Legend of Zelda. I think that's a good one.
Mario. Lara Croft first appeared 28 years ago.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you're looking for a professional grade sealant that offers technologically advanced performance, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
Brennan Wallenstein has called on the United hierarchy to publicly decide on Erik ten Hag's future once and for all. And Vincent Kompany wouldn't be drawn in on the state of Burnley's finances heading into Saturday's relegation six-pointer against Everton. Ben will have more at 2.
Turbocharge your Saturday with Game Day. It's the ultimate heavy-hitting Premier League experience. Exclusive rights to 2 massive Saturday games.
Crystal Palace versus Manchester City.
Kick-off 12:30
on TalkSport. What a goal! Followed by Aston Villa versus Brentford.
Kick-off 3 p.m.
on TalkSport 2.
Supersize your Saturday. This Saturday
on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
We're asking about the worst game you ever saw. Andy thought last night's game between Brentford and Brighton, that was right up there. Donny v Fleetwood, says Andrew Thackeray, 8 years ago, to the point that the club's YouTube highlights were the pre-match handshakes. Sending a message. You can keep those coming. We've had some good ones. Talksport.com, text 1889 tweet TSH&J 03717223344. Well, we hope for a bit more entertainment for Andy tonight at the Bridge. Chelsea, Manchester United. You were telling me, Andy, that Man United have got a bit of a sign over Chelsea.
Chelsea haven't been. I think the last time Morata got the win, I didn't tell you how long ago it is. There was a whole series of draws, 0-0s and 1-1s, and I think the last 3 or 4 have been United. And the game at Old Trafford, Chelsea, one of Chelsea's worst performances of the season, ironically one of United's best. I think they still think, that they approach a game differently when they're playing Chelsea than when they play Brentford, so I think they'll be up for it.
Well,
it's going to be difficult.
Somebody who has the joy of watching Manchester United on the road joins us now, the Guardian's man in Manchester, Jamie Jackson. Hi, Jamie.
Hi,
We got 2 managers under pressure.
We got 2 managers under pressure.
Bit of an echo flying back there. Yeah. So, we have got 2 managers under pressure, Jamie, this evening. Because Ten Hag, what did you make? Well, a prickly press conference yesterday, but that is often the case, isn't it? So I'm sorry about that. Clearly there was something wrong. Unless he does a really impressive impression of me. It's even better than Dan's.
Apparently, though, Erik ten Hag has warned Sir Jim Ratcliffe again.
Yes.
He's always warning him, isn't he, every 5 minutes?
He's quite brave to keep warning him.
He hasn't warned him at all.
Hopefully we can get a better line to Jamie. We'll talk about this because, he basically said that everything's going swimmingly. This is the young side. Everything's heading in the right direction. We're all doing very well. Don't interrupt the process, he says. We have good young players coming through and developing very well. We're in a good way, a good direction. We just need to take the next steps. You need to follow the process.
My problem with United is there's no pattern of play. What United have got is some very, very good individuals.
Yeah.
There've been a number of games this season where they've sort of stunk the place out, but grabbed the winner late. Or, you know.
I mean, Brentford was a pretty good example.
I mean, they almost won the game.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they're sort of getting away. He's getting away with it a bit. I think they've got better players than the way they're performing.
Yeah. He would probably argue that in the process of building this young side, the fact he's getting away with it is an accomplishment. He might argue.
Is it enough for United to be sixth? I don't think it is. You know, I mean, not that Chelsea can talk, but I mean, you know, United, I think, would be hoping. I thought this season you thought they might challenge, but.
What are you expecting?
Nowhere near it.
What are you expecting of Chelsea tonight then?
What do you get? I mean, what do you know? You just don't know.
What sort of team they're going to put out tonight?
Well, I think he's got a strongish team. I mean, he's got his usual 10 or 11 injuries every week, but you know, it's difficult to say. You know, it's such a funny team. I mean, Saturday was a great example of that. They battled away to get the lead again against 10 men. They score a goal, and Palmer was brilliant, instrumental in scoring the goal. Then he rushes up the other end of the field, makes a daft tackle that he couldn't win the ball.
Yeah.
They give away a free kick. The free kick goes for a corner, and they score from a corner. And that's very typical of what Chelsea do. When they score or when they concede, there's a sort of collective madness comes over the team in some way. I just don't get it, but you know.
What about sort of leaders on the pitch? Who do they look to at the moment?
Well, that's another problem, isn't it? I suppose Gallagher and Palmer's a bit of a leader, and you know, but. They're a bit lacking.
You know, that points at that, doesn't it? If a team immediately concedes after they've scored.
And also, they're bottom of the table for total distance run.
Really?
Which I think is a bit disappointing.
In a Pochettino
team.
That is very odd.
I know.
So don't forget the first Klopp game, it was against us. And the two teams just ran themselves absolutely into the ground.
I think that's what he was hinting at. I think in his press conference, he's hoping that they, you know, he wants them to do more.
Because that was, you know,
you know, they could go out there and play really well and win the game. I mean, they've matched up quite well with the top teams this season. So we'll see. Apart from that game at Old Trafford where they were especially poor, I thought. But we'll see.
A draw, you reckon the most likely outcome tonight? Or?
It's a possibility, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't be massively surprised. Chelsea could do with a win, though.
Well, we never got around to speaking to Jamie. We brought you a few of this sort of... We'll try a little bit later on if we can to get a United angle on tonight. You're going to hear it live. We were asking about your worst games ever that you witnessed. And can you imagine trying to turn people onto football with a bad game? That's what happened to Nick, the Orient fan. My uni friends from America were desperate to see a Premier League match about in 2001. I said, don't worry, there's a game this weekend in White Hart Lane. They're playing Charlton Athletic. Went along, Spurs 0, Charlton 0. An absolute dog. No chances, nothing. My friends were not impressed. And you see, that one hit you had to turn Americans onto football, and it didn't take.
They can't understand a draw at the best time, don't they? A 0-0 draw.
Glenn, the Brighton fan, said, Andy, the best thing about the game at Brentford last night was arriving at Gunnersbury Station. The announcer was trying to explain that the station would be closed for an hour after the game. He completely lost his way with the times and ended up just shouting, well, anyway, after the game, just don't come here.
I'm just thinking, what's that about? You know, surely that's helpful, rather than have all the people going into one station. I never understand these things, but there we go. What must be a security issue.
Yes, yes. When gifting goes bad. We mentioned the Barcelona players have been gifted by our club's hierarchy MacBooks as a little thank you for beating Atletico, but the coaches didn't get them. So it's caused a bit of a schism in the dressing room. Coaches are feeling they've been forgotten because the players got them and they didn't. So it's backfired. So when gifting goes bad, Mark from Leeds said, gentlemen, ladies, on no account do I recommend anybody do what I did. I bought my wife a month's pass for Slimming World for her birthday.
not a great idea, really. That's a really bad idea.
Anyway, we're going to bring you the best of the TalkSport podcast, and we're going to find out more about this idea. Mike Keegan from the Daily Mail has got wind of a story that the Premier League could potentially be looking at a luxury tax instead of points deductions. Who knows, maybe next season, maybe the season after. It's all got to be voted for, but it's not the only thing. Mike's going to talk us through what he's learned very, very shortly. Don't forget our live football tonight. We're going to bring you both Premier League games tonight across the TalkSport network.
Hawksby and Baker on TalkSport with Toolstation. Join the Toolstation Club today and get 5% off everything. Toolstation, for a job done right.
At TalkSport, we absolutely love it when our fans get stuck in. That's why we want you to join us in The Dugout, a brilliant new TalkSport listener community. It's a place where you can tell us what sports you're into and who your favourite teams are, and tell us what you think we can do better, like a big guest and new sports and that. You can win an Amazon voucher for taking part. What are you waiting for? Visit talksport.com/dugout and get stuck in. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply.
A week on orders over £25 for a job done right.
TalkSport Bet. If you want to flutter, punters know it's the only place to go. Football, GG, cricket, golf and Grand Prix, alive online casino. Just tap to find it on the app. TalkSport Bet, the broadcast bonus bookie, keeping you on track with all the sporting stats. Steeple chases, even title races, looking after sports fans. You know, because TalkSport Bet is the app that does all that. It's the only place to go.
18+BeGambleAware.org. Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. So count on us to make sure your summer holiday is worth every penny. With over 50 sunny destinations, an amazing choice of 2 to 5-star hotels, and 22 kilograms of baggage included. Book summer now with just a £60 deposit per person. And spread the cost with flexible monthly payments. Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust. And financial protected. Subject to availability conditions.
Lorraine and Trev finally have a night to themselves. Their daughter Liv is out, but they can't help worrying.
Weird. Liv hasn't texted us yet.
That's Liv asking for more data so she can upload a dance to...
Let me guess. TikTok.
Data sent, Lorraine and Trev kick back to their saucy rom-com.
Now she wants picking up.
Typical. Share data with your kids when they run out. Search EE Mobile.
Excludes no frills plans. Terms apply.
With the all-new Mini Countryman, everything just got bigger. That means Mini's biggest electric range. Bigger technology and bigger adventures. With space for everybody. Even him. He's a good boy. And all this bigness comes from a Mini. The new Mini Countryman, our biggest Mini ever. Book your test drive today. Electric range 245 to 287 miles. WLTP figures of comparison purposes. Real life results may vary. Test drive subject to status and availability.
If your business is accused of damaging a client's property, for example, accidentally pouring tea all over their expensive audio equipment, really sorry about that, by the way. Then Hiscox could help protect you. The story of your business, underwritten by Hiscox Business Insurance, subject to already holding a relevant Hiscox policy and subject to policy eligibility, terms and conditions.
We're BetMGM Sports and Casino. We know things aren't always golden. That's why we offer you the tools to keep your place safe. Set timeouts to always ensure you take a break when you feel like you need it. Set reality checks so you know exactly how long you've been playing. And set deposit limits to help control what you spend. Stay golden with BetMGM. Play responsibly.
18 plus. TalkSport Traffic and Travel with My Dear. Drive down the cost of cooling and heating with My Pro 10-year warranties and first-year service contributions. Reroute to mydearuk.co.uk.
In Surrey, the M25 remains closed anti-clockwise from Godstone at junction 6 along 270 to junction 5. That's after a collision this morning. In Bedfordshire, the M1 northbound is partly blocked for repairs between the junction 11A at Dunstable and junction 12 for Flitwick. And in Essex at Bishop Stortford, the A120 is partly blocked eastbound. That's after a collision just by the roundabout for the M11 junction 8. I'm Adam Moore.
Women's Euro 25 qualifier live on TalkSport 2.
England versus Sweden.
Well, what was that all about?
Build up and banter from 7, kick off 8 o'clock. Rock.
Friday night on TalkSport 2.
Oh, yes.
Paul Hawksby, Andy Jacobs here on TalkSport. Well, the way the points deductions have worked and the timing of them has not been ideal. I don't think anybody thinks the ultimate answer for sorting out profit and sustainability in the Premier League, and maybe the Premier League are of a like mind, because Mike Keegan from the Mail today has got wind of some changes potentially. One of them is something you've talked about a lot before, Andy, with your love of American sport, a luxury tax. Mike joins us now. Good afternoon, Mike.
Afternoon, gents.
Yeah, for those not au fait with the way it would work, it's an interesting system. It works in the NBA and Major League Baseball as well. So just sort of briefly explain how that might work.
Yeah, so as you said, they've looked at it and they've seen that Everton and obviously Forest are the first two victims. And I don't think anybody you'd have asked when these rules were introduced would have said that these are the types of clubs that we're going to go after. You know, clubs that have really tried to have a bit of a go. You know, somebody put it to me with regards to Forest. You know, it looks like the only damage that their owner is doing is to his own wallet, and who is to stop him from doing that. So there's a number of different proposals. I think there is now an agreement pretty much with all of the clubs in the Premier League that PFR in its current guise is not fit for purpose. And one of the other proposals is a luxury tax, which, as you mentioned, features in MLB and the NBA, where you're given a limit, so you know how much you're allowed to lose. And if you want to spend more than that, if you say, well, that's not enough, I want my team to spend X amount on players to make sure we're competitive, and it's my money, and why should I be able to do that? So then if you spend more than you're committed to, you know that for every X amount of millions you go over what's permitted, you will get hit with what they call a luxury tax. And the view of that is that tax will then either get redistributed among the clubs who've not broken rules, or could even go into a fund at some point to aid the clubs that are struggling in the EFL.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be better for competitive balancing. You've got the situation now where Newcastle were building a decent team. They had a very good season last season. Now they're faced, because they haven't had a brilliant season this year and they went out in Europe, the fate of having to sell either Isak or Guimaraes, and you think that's not going to help. That's not going to help the league if Newcastle are forced to sell their two best players.
Absolutely, and there is another view that a more competitive Premier League with more clubs than the traditional Big Six, and obviously Newcastle are the ones that are immediately at the front of the queue to join that, is beneficial for the game itself and beneficial for the product. So, you know, we know broadcast deals are all important. So if we have a more competitive Premier League, which, you know, we know that's the beauty of it at the moment, not so much, you know, your teams at the bottom and your Manchester Cities, but there are lots of games in the Premier League where you don't go into it knowing who's going to win. It's not like Scotland, it's not like Spain. You know, we've got three teams at the moment that could win the Premier League. So they feel that the luxury tax would make it more competitive, and as a result of that, everybody benefits because it keeps its position as, you know, the biggest and best league in the world, and its position is getting more broadcast money than anybody else.
The downside of this, Mike, I can see just off the top of my head, is that we've got the Big Six, so as you pointed out today, it's almost like the Big Seven now. Newcastle have become a lot more influential as the money has come in. So say somebody else, let's say Everton, suddenly get this fairy godfather comes in and wants to spend lots and lots of money to get them competing again. If you're in the Big Six or Seven, yeah, it would be nice in the luxury tax to get an extra 20 million quid maybe to spend on players. But in the grand scheme of things, you don't want Everton catching up. You don't want an eighth team to start raining on your parade. So I wonder if the big clubs, who seem to have an awful lot of influence, even though it's one club, one vote, might be not so happy about this.
Yeah, that's it. And I think from what I can gather, there is a bit of a split among the Big Six between who's open to this and who's thinking, well, you know, we're doing quite nicely as it is. Why would we want to change that? But it's interesting. It's been described as a big shift in there. So it isn't the case that these six will now just automatically vote together as they have done in the past, which is another interesting element. As well, on top of this as well, you know, some of the clubs want this to completely replace the system as it is and get rid of points deductions, so we don't have what's happened to Everton and Forest. There has been kickback on that from people within the Premier League. They're saying, look, we are looking at introducing this luxury tax. It is one of the proposals and it's being worked on, but we have to retain an element of sporting sanction. So it would act as kind of as a buffer zone really to give clubs the opportunity to spend more than they've been allowed to. But if you kind of, for want of a better word, took the mickey and just spent ludicrous amounts, there would still be the threat of points deductions, because then, obviously the big unspoken is nation-state ownership of football clubs, and that other clubs that aren't state-owned say that's not fair, and they're probably, well, they are right, I suppose. But if there isn't a threat of points deductions, then if you're a nation-state and money's no object, you just, you pay the tax, so what? We'll just have all the best players.
Yeah, that could be a problem. Well, I'm sure it's an interesting discussion point, and good to talk to you. Appreciate it. Really interesting piece. You can find it on the Mail Online or at Mike Keegan _DM. You can link through and read the full piece. Thank you, Mike. Thanks very much.
Thanks, gents.
There we are, Mike Keegan there from the Mail, breaking that story today. Well, it's time now. I think we've got his jingle ready, haven't we? No, we haven't got his jingle ready. It's the Podcast Prince. It is Sam Ellard.
He needs the jingle, doesn't it? The Podcast Prince needs the jingle. It's not the same.
Otherwise, it's just me saying that, and it just sounds stupid.
Yeah, you sound really silly now.
Well, Charlie's selling it.
He sounds silly, not you, so it's much better.
That's it. So, yeah, we're going to find out the latest TalkSport podcast, Sam. What we got today?
Yes, plenty to get through. You can listen to all the TalkSport podcasts via the TalkSport app or your usual podcast provider. Let's start with cricket this week, because can you believe it? The County Championship starts tomorrow, which seems a bit bizarre. So the latest following on cricket podcast is a County Championship preview. David Bumble-Lloyd, Steve Harmison, Neil Manthorpe looking ahead to all of the action. Some great names as well included in the podcast, like Ollie Pope, Rory Burns, you can hear from them. And also to Ollie Robinson, who's had quite an interesting kind of test career so far. Started off really well, and the last sort of 6 months hasn't gone so well. He's had some fitness problems, some form problems, so a big opportunity for him to perform well with Sussex before the test summer starts. And he says he's got a point to prove.
Got a few goals I've set, yeah, and I think one of those is probably to sort of cement my place in the England team. Not necessarily to replace Paulie, because obviously he's one of the best we've had, but it would be nice if I could cement my place this year in the England team and really sort of make a statement, I suppose, over these next coming months. There's probably a few doubts over me, I think, but if I can string some games together and get back out there, there's obviously a lot of test cricket still to play this year. We've got West Indies, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, New Zealand, so yeah, I need to put my best foot forward and cement my place.
There we are, Ollie Robinson talking about his moments, isn't he?
Yeah. 76 test wickets, an average of 22, which on paper is pretty impressive, isn't it? There's been some, a couple of people called out his fitness concerns, maybe the way he sort of conducts himself off the pitch. You hope that he can have a good run with Sussex, because those numbers on paper, Andy, are pretty impressive, aren't they?
The other thing with Jofra Archer as well.
Well, we're going to say the other news out of Sussex is that he's bowling really well, Jofra Archer, at the moment.
And there's a T20 World Cup coming up in a couple of months' time, so fingers crossed. Next episode 2 of Talk Boxing is out on the TalkSport app. No Simon Jordan this week, so Spencer Oliver and Johnny Nelson. Last time Johnny was on the show, he revealed Tyson Fury having a few issues in training, and that was picked up by a lot of media outlets. Of course, Fury eventually pulled out of the fight against Usyk. They revisited this subject in the latest episode.
Have you heard anything? Last time you was on the show, you give us some great inside information about Tyson Fury, what was going on inside the camp and whatnot. Anything going on now? Heard anything through the grapevine?
I'll tell you what, do you want to know?
Come on, Johnny,
do you want to know who the mole is? Do you want to know who the mole is?
Absolutely, yeah, come on.
His dad and his brother, they are the mole. Wow. Because you listen, I said nothing his dad hadn't said. I said nothing his brother hasn't said. Okay, I might have sprinkled a bit of seasoning on it, but what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, right, his dad, it's on record, his dad said, the people that are in the camp.
Whatever happened to never reveal your story?
I know. They're looking for the mole, Tyson, but it's your dad and your brother, the two people closest to you.
Wow, yeah, well, let's hope that fight is on this time. We want to see it. And anything else? Oh, I tell you what, we've got your jingle. Do you want your jingle? Let's make Charlie look like an idiot instead of it's a bit better late than ever. Here it is.
It's the Podcast Prince, Sam Ellard.
Sounds like he's working on the rules today, Charlie.
It was both
you want to go faster. Fantastic. Well, I think we're going to play a bit from our podcast a later date, because times are pressing. So for now, Sam, thank you.
Thank you, James.
So all the podcasts, the best thing to do is really download the app, isn't it? Because you can find all the podcasts.
Go and get the app, and right at the bottom it says podcast in big capital letters. Hit that, and every single podcast, over 10, is all there. Very easy to find.
And yeah, you can find the H&J Daily, best bits of every afternoon show. You can find clips of the week, which we put out every Friday, and the Apple TalkSport Plus podcasts, and we'll play you an excerpt of that a little bit later on. But for now, Sam, thanks very much. Thanks. Sam Ellard there, the podcast prince.